Hi, this is Dave. We're running session 2 of Unknown Armies for the Gauntlet. Unfortunately, last session for character creation, we were having some technical difficulties. We lost most of the video, so that's just not going to get posted. But all we did was character creation, world creation, get to know the world. This is going to be the more entertaining thing, which is playing the damn game. Since we missed the introductions, let's just do them real quick. Yoshi, do you want to start?
Sure. So my name's Yoshi. I'm going to be playing Miguel Rodriguez, although depending on who he's talking to, he's probably going by Michael. He is a corporate headhunter. He also is the avatar of the star. He basically has this idea that he can get people to in the right place at the right company and things like that. But he also mixes that in with making sure that he's well known, make sure that people remember who he is, because that's kind of ingrained into his personality.
Excellent. Noel. No, sorry, I mispronounced it again.
That's okay. That's okay. My name's Noel. I'll be playing Laura Partois, who is a sort of probably mid-50s woman who's the manager at a local accounting firm, but is also an avatar of the guide. So she's all about leading other people to where they need to go, but not doing those journeys herself. Like a really, really good boss who, like, somebody on the outside might say, oh, what a hard ass, but you kind of know that they're looking out for your best interest and really trying to get you where you need to go.
Okay. And Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian, and I'm playing Ian Brandt. He would describe himself as a futurist, but he pays the bills being a science teacher. And yeah, is I think the least knowledgeable of the weirdness of this world of the group. So he's new to all this.
Excellent. And later we will be joined by Jim, who is going to be playing Isco Andrada, who is a prep cook. So yeah, one quick thing that I noticed, Yoshi, I noticed Miguel's channels look off. I think you accidentally posted the Solid Citizen instead of the Star.
Well, then I will go adjust those.
Yeah, I tried to do it real quick and it messed with the formatting. I'm like, ew. I'll let Yoshi go with that. So the group has a goal of we're playing in Minneapolis, which is essentially the city that I currently live in. So I know it quite well. The group has a goal to make sure that everyone within the city does not lose their cell phone. And this is kind of a by any means necessary sort of thing, which means they're going to be messing with things that they shouldn't be. That said, we've discussed the group and bits about the relationship. How did you guys come to the decision that you should that this is what you guys are after? You know, you initially came together because you kind of discovered everyone had an experience with weird supernatural shit, but at some point you decided, okay, it's time to fuck with that shit and make it do something good. So how did this decision come about?
From my understanding of Laura so far, I don't think that this was her idea. I think she met somebody else in the Cabal and it was more on the inspiration from them and what they wanted to do. And because she was like, that sounds good, I've been looking like in order to make herself more of the guide, she needs to help people accomplish their goals, and just sort of has decided that that is her role now, as sort of nurturing this thing. To her, it's almost less important. Like, she cares about this goal because it's the one she's decided to care about, but the content of it is almost less the thing than the other people.
That makes sense. Brian, do you have any thoughts on it?
I don't know which player came up with the idea. I could come up with a rationale for my character to have proposed it, but I don't know what the original thinking behind it was. But I mean, I guess my character is the most kind of sciencey, techie person, and cell phones fit that. So,
Yoshi, do you think do you have any thoughts on who would have gotten this idea going?
I mean, I guess Miguel could have. I mean, he is a corporate headhunter, and one of the things that bothers him is when people say they're going to be somewhere or be ready for an interview, a call, or something, and they're not there, because that makes him look bad if either the interviewee or the interviewer don't actually call or aren't there to answer.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like you're the one who cares about the who was bothered by the situation of people not having their cell phones, but maybe Ian was the character who was like, why don't we do something about that?
Right.
Does that sound?
Yeah, you were the.
I come in one day and basically just complain that another person didn't make their call they were supposed to. They said they lost their cell phone, it wasn't charged or whatever, and start complaining. You can tell me that no, we can do something about that.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, so you're the initial impetus, but yeah, my character is like, that's because this whole thing of us and our cell phones being two separate things. That's the problem. Like, everyone just needs to, and we've got this secret knowledge. Like, I don't know that much about it, but you guys, like,
hey, you've got that computer that tells you all sorts of things of how things are linked, right?
Yeah, it's the magic box. You put in some numbers and some other numbers come out.
Awesome. So how long have you guys been trying to figure this out?
Probably not that long. I feel like we're all relatively new to figuring this thing out. This is probably a new project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that would make sense. Do you have a specific milestone that we can really focus on for these 3 sessions to try to make it get there?
What is an example of a milestone?
It would be like a step along the way to make it happen. Like, maybe we need to find a ritual that will find lost things, or we need to find a way to create a mystic network throughout the city, or we need to tap into this source to make this happen. Now, I've got things in mind to help you along your objective, but I was wondering if anyone had a specific thought of what we should be focusing on for these for these 3 sessions that we're going to be playing the game, so I can really hammer trying to make sure that's what's going on.
I think in order to working on all of the cell phones in the city, we need some sort of connection to all of the things in the city. So whether that means to all the cell phones in the city. So whether that means putting putting some sort of like software on all of those phones that mystically links us getting control of a cell tower or something like that in order to get non-physical control. Alternatively, some sort of crazy project to just get our hands on every cell phone in the city and do something physically to them, inscribe some sort of sigil. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I think that works as a great first step of trying to find a way to mystically link every cell phone in the city, or at least know how to do it. You may want to wait to actually do the link, depending on what you find out. But that seems like a great thing to really try to hammer out of for these 3 sessions. So excellent. The next question I have is, where do you guys meet?
No, we're all pretty different people. Like, where would we meet? Like, we don't necessarily come from the same walks of life. Is there like somebody's house we meet at?
Well, on the creation map that we did, almost everyone has some kind of connection to the Joie Divina restaurant.
True.
They're one of my clients. I believe that's where Isco works.
Yep. I like to go there for a drink. I like to take clients or other people there.
As I recall, you even have a connection to the bartender there.
I do. Antonio believes me.
I did not actually put a spot for Antonio on my NPC tracker. Antonio.
Source of comfort and validation and info.
Comfort and validation. And someone will just find a picture eventually for him. Okay, excellent. Well, why don't we start with, I would put you guys all in the bar, but I think giving everyone a little bit of a taste of something to help get them into character would be a better way to approach this. So let's actually start with Miguel. You actually have an appointment today with actually a really big shot from out of town. She is actually the vice president of operations for Burger King. So pretty big deal. And she's basically, has an appointment with you because she's using your services, and, she wants to go over what she's looking for. Now, the question, would you fly to her or would you make her fly to you?
If she's hiring me, is this the first time that we've ever talked before? Like, is this our first meeting?
Would be your first face-to-face. You've probably done work for Burger King before, and she might have been on email chains and sent responses. This is the first time she's looking to work directly with you.
Then I probably fly to her if we've had a little bit of working together, and I feel like this is going to line up some bigger deals.
Okay. So yeah, you fly. Anyone know where Burger King's located? I sure as hell don't.
Nah.
Doesn't matter. You fly somewhere.
Sure.
She has one of those corner offices that you just don't fuck with. Big impressive view, everything super fancy. Oh, it's in Miami, so it's overlooking the ocean. Just everything is immaculate, and obviously the whole the whole office is meant to draw focus to Erica Fisher.
Okay. Miss or Mrs.?
She did not introduce herself one way or another. Well, I mean,
Okay.
it's her email, so they're signed Erica Fisher, VP of the VP of Operations.
Well, I would know before I got there. I would like look up her, like if she's actually a legit person. It's probably known whether she's married or not.
So this is a great use of an identity. Specifically the use of course I can. Of course you can know all sorts of things about Erica Fisher. You're a corporate headhunter.
Yeah, this is part of my job.
Yeah. So there's no role here, there's no nothing. This is, of course you know this shit.
Yeah.
So you know that she is divorced. She has kids who are now adults. She has only been with Burger King for about 2 years. Before that, she was at McDonald's. And before that, she was part of the tech industry. She was actually a CEO in the tech industry. Smaller company, definitely. But, very strange that she went from tech industry to McDonald's. But very impressive resume. Really got damn good results. Everyone's, the word out there is she is queen bitch. You do not fuck with her. You do not get in her way. But her employees are her people. She takes care of them, sometimes on an oddly intimate level. Like there are people like line cooks that she has flown out for and shootout managers saying, no, I've got this person's back. So the word is she's big on loyalty, though.
Okay. What's her favorite drink? Like, does she drink wine or whiskey?
That's an excellent question.
Whatever it is, I bring a bottle.
Okay. Yeah, the word is to bring whiskey.
Okay. I bring a good bottle of whiskey.
So she says, come in.
Yeah. Miss Fisher, it's a pleasure to actually finally meet you.
Yes, I've heard good things. Minneapolis, right?
Yes.
So you are one of 3 people that I have trying something a little bit new.
Okay.
Have a seat.
Sure. And first, I wanted to present to you this bottle of whiskey to maybe kick things off with. I know that you appreciate your employees and things, and I figured a bottle like this is something that you can use to share celebrations with other folks and people when you find successful things. So I hope it will serve you well in the future.
You sure know how to kiss ass.
Hey, it's part of the job. Do what I can.
In the future, chocolates. But I do have a friend at that I usually forward these to.
Well, I will make a note of that.
In any case, this is not a high-powered executive that I'm looking for you to search for this time.
Okay.
I'm looking for somebody in the Twin Cities market.
Okay.
Someone, well, Burger King is a franchise.
Yes.
You have the floor employees. They're kind of like the ground soldiers. Without them, the whole empire falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
But managing them is the individual barons and dukes. they're the ones that need to bring in the fealty of those soldiers to bring them to corporate and make sure that the whole empire works.
Yeah.
The issue is every manager sees themselves as king of their own kingdom. We need someone to be like an earl. Bring all of the small little provinces into the fold and get the loyalty from those managers. And then they in turn are loyal to corporate.
Okay.
And thus the whole chain is strengthened.
Yeah, this is definitely something I think I can help you with. I've got a couple of candidates that might work out, but maybe you can tell me like a little bit of what has been working and what hasn't been working, and that might help me find the right candidate here. So I'm assuming you guys have tried some things in the past, and the reason why you're coming to somebody like me is because it hasn't worked out as well as you would have liked. Are there particular problem managers that might be the problem?
I haven't delved too specifically into your market yet. This is more of changing the model. In the past, corporate gives the directives of how each business should be run, and then it's up to the franchise owners to make it happen. We want to have a more direct relationship between manager to
you
local.
Want someone you can trust, that you can go to, and then have them have the more hands-on approach with everything else.
Exactly.
You need that tie that ties back here, one point of contact.
But the goal is not an iron fist. We've seen that tried in the past, and it never works out in the long term.
No, of course not.
Now, the biggest concern with this position is burnout. Look, there's people who've been in the fast food industry for their whole careers. They don't necessarily have the flexibility that we're looking for. So don't feel like that you need to go with someone who's been in the industry before. We need the leader, not the experience.
Right.
However, we do need to make sure that the person is not going to lose their cool. The fast food world can get bizarre sometimes. We need someone who will be able to keep a cool head, and no matter how outrageous something sounds, will be able to deal with it.
Okay. Seem like reasonable expectations.
The last thing, I want someone local.
Local to Minneapolis?
Yes. My experience in the past is you bring in someone from another city, they're looking to pad their career, and within 5 years, they're looking for new positions.
Right. You want someone long-term with the commitment to the city.
Exactly. Someone with ties to the city isn't going to be looking to move around, which means if they're happy in the position, I don't have to worry about losing them.
Perfect. Sounds like an interesting prospect. Giving me some stuff to go on.
Find a good candidate, good fit, someone who works out long term, and I'll start using you for executive level headhunting.
Sounds like a good deal to me. Thanks for your time.
It's an investment. Don't disappoint me.
It always is, and I won't.
Okay, so now you have a long flight home.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's go to Ian. So tell me, Ian, tell me a little bit more about your predictive model. I assume you use some computers because that's usually necessary to do predictive modeling. Let me know a little bit of what it looks like and how it works.
Yeah, I think I imagine it's feeding in information, a lot of collecting data points that maybe don't even seem connected, but there's a there's a pattern that the model can tease out that just on the surface you would never be able to see is there.
Mm-hmm. Where do you mine your data?
I mean, I imagine it's the more disparate sources you can get, kind of the better. That's almost part of why it works. Is
do you have to directly feed the data in, or does the system automatically seek it out?
I imagine there's parts of it that are automated, as much of it as possible, but then there's times that it requires hands-on actually need to go out and collect information and feed that in manually.
Does the system have full, free reign of the internet?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That gives me a better idea. Oh, last thing. What does the computer look like?
It's probably not just like one box sitting somewhere. It's like he's got several different machines, and they're all just kind of networked together.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be, like a server rack with some kind of more traditional looking computers, but then there's
Is there anything strange connected or adorning the computers?
I sure hope so. Yeah. What would it be though? I hadn't thought about it.
Tell you what, why don't we come back to you then?
Okay, yeah.
What I would do is maybe, while you're waiting, do some Google search on things used for scrying. I can think of like animal intestines, strings, tea leaves, could be any number of things, but this sounds like, maybe
Magic 8 balls.
Yeah. Oh God. Just 1,000 magic 8 balls all sitting around.
I think he actually does have like a row of magic 8 balls, like that he flips them all at once.
Other things you could do is like antennas and stuff, because like you could use atmospheric randomness for inputs and things like that.
Mm-hmm. That means you could have a TV without an antenna connected to the computer just to read static patterns.
Yeah, I feel like every piece of electronics in his home is probably networked into this in one way or another. Yeah.
Excellent. Are you feeling good about how the computer looks? You've got a good image of the computer, or do you want some more time with it?
I'll try to keep thinking about it, but that's probably a pretty good start. I think we have a decent idea of.
Okay. So Noel, why don't you tell me a little bit about what a day at the office looks like?
I think it is pretty consistent. I think I do so that classic management by walking around, but not in the ominous, like I'm breathing down your neck way. Just going around, talking to people, getting a sense for how they're doing, because I am not the accounting expert. I am the manager. As I said, it's not my job to actually do these things, but rather make sure, like, and I think maybe today there's an employee who like I've been a little bit worried about, and I just check in, make sure they're doing the basic stuff, like have you been eating well? Have you been sleeping? And I think the atmosphere that I've set up in this office is that's not unusual. Like I think in certain office environments that could be like, whoa, too much information, but people have come to expect that from me, just because I insist on making sure of those things.
Okay. I assume at some point you do like read reports and things like that.
Yeah.
But
I get restless if I do that for too long. Staying alone in my office.
Yeah, so Jenkins, gives you the Dockers report. And this is a big file, so you do have to, and a lot of it's hard copy. You can't, this is stuff that's going to get mailed out, so they had to print it out, and they just want you to rubber stamp it. You do notice that slipped between two of the pages, though, is it's a tarot card.
Of course it is. Which one?
The Emperor.
Okay. My first instinct is, does it look like somebody I know?
The Emperor has no face. It is just a crown.
Great. Cool. That's cool.
How do you react?
I think I give Jenkins a kind of a look, but I assume is Jenkins just standing there waiting for me to?
No, he dropped it off. This was like partway through rummaging through this, and this type of report is something like, okay, someone does a section, passes it off to someone, and like it's literally just getting passed back and forth until the report gets thicker and thicker and thicker until it's all ready to go.
Right. Well, I imagine I probably keep close on my person the hanged man that I found that has Ian's face on it. And so I guess my first instinct is to compare those two. Like, are they the same style? Do they look like they could be from the same set?
No. So the art on the hanged man is very personal and detailed, and and it's there to capture the emotion of this person that you had not met. Whereas this one, it's bright colors, it's crisp lines, but it's mostly simple shapes. It comes off as like flashy, cheap art, something more like a logo than a piece of art.
And you said it's a crown features heavily on it?
There is no face. There is only a crown.
There is only a crown.
By the way, this is pretty freaky, and you don't have any notches in Unnatural, so I think you need to roll to resist being out on this.
I have 5 hardened notches in Unnatural.
I am sorry. I was looking at your failed notches, not your hardened.
I have no failures, but I have lots of hardened knowledge.
Never mind. That was me looking at the wrong section. You're like, tarot card.
Yeah, I think we established that I was probably close to the most occult experienced out of the group.
That's right. Sorry, I can't memorize everything.
No, that's fine. So I'm looking at it. It's just sort of like, I think Laura is fairly organized, not like in a sort of a very regimented kind of way, but she has a folder that the other card was in. Maybe there's one or two other like mysterious things she's found. She just sort of slips it, and like the next time that I see Goder's Radivino, it's going to be with me. Because I bet the person most suited to knowing something about this would probably be Ian, because he's all about that information. I don't have any ideas, unless there's a unknown nerdy setting specific thing that I would have maybe thought to do at this point, but I don't think so.
Well, I mean, maybe roll your avatar identity, but this isn't necessarily intrinsic knowledge. So
yeah, I think she would go through the more mundane route.
Yeah, I think you would need to know more before you can really like say, wait, my experience being an avatar tells me this.
Right. And the kind of avatar I am even doesn't necessarily fit with knowing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's only the case if you are an avatar that has a specific channel with that.
Right, which I don't. So
okay.
As I file it away.
So Isco. Prep cooks kind of have odd schedules. Is this your day off, or are you working today?
Oh, I think I'm working today.
Okay. I mean, is a day at work, I'm guessing, is pretty bland.
No. There's different specials every day. So, the kind of prep that I do changes up from day to day, but I got to know what I'm doing. I think I get there. I roll out of bed about 4:00 in the morning. I'm there at 5 a.m. Because I'm the like lunch. I do lunch and dinner prep, and then I'm out.
So you're done at like 6.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Yeah. I mean, like I'm only working about 12, maybe 13 hours, which is a, a perfectly reasonable day. First hour, chopping stuff, preparing everything and stuff like that, and then like getting the starting to do the prep cooking for the brunch crowd and stuff like this.
You stirred up the soup stocks and
exactly, yeah, all of that stuff. And there's a couple of and I'm the head prep cook. I'm not by any means like in charge of the kitchen or anything like that. But like the day manager is there and has the place open, but I'm usually the first person there. And then like there's probably like half a dozen like Dominican guys who are there just to like chop and saute and stuff like that. But we're just kind of it's good solid work. You know what you're doing. You start with a great big pile of onions, and when you're done, there's no more onions left, and that's very satisfying.
Okay. So I think at around 11 o'clock, you get interrupted. What are you doing at about 11 o'clock?
Like 11 o'clock. I think at 11 o'clock, we are like right in the midst of getting ready for the lunch rush. We're starting to do all the stuff that like that you got to have ready, but that can't sit out for very long, or it'll go stale or whatever. It's stuff like this. And and starting to like plate stuff and bring things out and getting the fryers going and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, the day manager's like, Adrada, got a call.
And I'm like, and I say, I'm prepping the salmon. Take a message.
Fuck, I'm not your messenger. Come on, you can take a call.
Hey, Alberto, can you take over here? and I, and I hand the filleting knife off to, to one of the other prep cooks.
And make sure to wash your damn hands before handling the phone. I don't need to get salmonella.
And I roll my eyes, and I, hustle into the bathroom, and into the like kick the restroom open with one foot, and do the the fast restaurant hand wash thing, water on, spritz the hands, bap, 2 things of soap, rinse it off, boom, and I'm out the door, hands still wet and everything. And I grab the phone, and I just say, hello? Oh, for fuck's sake. Hey, asshole. The waitresses don't get on for another half hour. Bam.
By the way, next to the phone was a little half cup of beer.
Okay.
It's the restaurant. Everyone is like shitty to everyone, but they also have your back and is like, doing nice things for each other all the time. But what they say is total shit.
And I roll my eyes, and I roll my eyes, and I point at the day manager, and I say, and I say to him, "You fucked up. It was for you." And then I go back to the and I go back and start prepping my salmon again.
Okay. So Ian, any other details you thought of for your computer?
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture different things. I imagine along one wall, just a series of printers, and when the first one prints out a page, that gets fed into the next printer, which then just prints over that, and you have to manually, after each page prints, go feed it into the next one. Then it comes out at the end, put it on the scanner, that gets scanned, and there's a projector that then shines that through a prism, so that kind of projects on the wall.
So that's how you get your results?
Yeah, and that's the final output.
That is so awesome. That is totally cool.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I imagine each printer is wired up, one's wired to some antenna that goes up to the roof to collect data. Another one, each one's connected to something different.
Awesome. So you're running through a batch of results, and as you're running it through, your phone just dings and dings and dings and dings, like over and over and over again. The ding of, like an alert, could be anything of 20 different things that make the same sound. It's a fucking smartphone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you interrupt the process to check your email, or do you just keep going and ignore your phone?
I'll ignore it if there's something I need to do right that second. I'm not going to interrupt the process if it's going to delay that.
I mean, technically nothing would interrupt the process, but it's hard to keep track of where you are in the process. It's like, did this piece of paper go through this printer or this printer?
But yeah, I'll get to it as soon as there's a good stopping point where I can take a glance. I mean, there might be some information I need to feed in.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got 50 emails, 15 texts, and 17 pings on different social media.
Okay. I make sure I type that into the computer. Make sure that doesn't throw off my whatever it is I'm working on. I'll enter those numbers.
It says the system errors out, says information discarded, irrelevant. Code 34, which stands for that the information has already been processed and does not need to be reprocessed.
That sounds good. That means it's working properly. I guess I'll. It was 50 emails, 17. I was trying to write it down. I want to look at the social media hits, see what those are.
Would you like to take a survey? Nomenon.
Yes. I'll take the survey.
What is your favorite color?
Don't have one.
What was the last fruit juice you drank?
Orange.
What is the consistency of your stool?
It's too personal. I'm not going to continue.
You close out of the browser?
Yeah.
Do you go ahead and pull up the results by doing the projection?
Sure.
It's just written over and over again, alternating threat detected, resource detected, threat detected, resource detected, threat detected, just whole projected page of that. Like the system can't tell.
Is it is it telling me it's it's talking about one thing, but it doesn't know?
It's like a sheet of paper that says alternating threat detected, resource detected. And the two are in different fonts.
Mm-hmm. So it seems to be talking about two different things. Or I don't know. There could be a resource and a threat, or there could be a thing that could be either. That's not great news. All right.
So,
yeah,
everyone has had a little bit of their day. I think it's about time for your regularly scheduled get-together. If there's something that someone absolutely wants to do before getting together, we can absolutely do that. My goal was to just give a little story seeds, get people into character, and then take shit from there.
Sure. And so we're going to have our meeting at the Joie de Vino.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I think this is a perfectly reasonable thing where I can I get us like one of the like basically the private rooms, one of the rooms where they have whatever bachelorette parties or corporate functions and stuff like that, and we can all kind of sit around the big table.
Look, as long as you don't clean up, as long as you clean up after yourself, and we don't have it booked, which doesn't usually happen on a Tuesday. Just don't cause too much trouble.
Tuesday at Tuesday at whatever 7 or something like that. Yeah, for sure.
This is actually probably the table downstairs in the wine cellar.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect. Oh yeah, the tasting table. Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the waiters hate using that table unless it's like they're going to get tipped really heavily because it's such a pain in the ass to go up and down the stairs.
Sure.
So unless it's a big night where they've got someone that they know they can get a shit ton of money out of, they probably run it like Thursday through Monday.
Yeah. That completely makes sense. Yeah. That's like that's when you have people that are going to be buying $1,000 bottles of wine.
Yeah,
you let them book that table. And I'm sure that like the restaurant sells it as this like the publicity is that it's this super exclusive thing and it's really hard to get, and when in fact it's a goddamn pain in the ass and nobody somebody has to really demonstrate they really want it in order to get it. I love that.
Yeah, This is like a former speakeasy that never got raided because it was the cops didn't want to go down the stairs.
That's fantastic. Okay, so and I think that one of the reasons that we have this here is like, you know, you guys get there, and kind of once everybody is there, I come down the stairs, and I've got, you know, tonight what I've got is, you know, plates of grilled salmon for everybody with some haricot vert and, you know, and like a watercress salad to, you know, to get things started. Like I take great pride, I think, in the looks on your faces when I bring whatever it is I'm going to bring down the stairs. Not pride, joy. Like that gives me life. You guys like smiling and like you know, breathing it in as I bring it down. So tonight, hey, here we go, everybody. Grilled salmon. The green beans are fresh, and watercress salad there. There's a shaved cheese in the bowl. And let's, you know, dig in.
Yeah, I think
I just realized what I forgot to cover, and that was relationships. You guys only start with 2 relationships. However, if there's someone that you think should be a relationship, just let me know what they are, and they'll start at 5%. Otherwise, your relationships, I'll just fill them in over the course of this conversation. But sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure I got that in.
Totally works. That's cool.
Yeah, I think Laura, or when, let's see, checking character names. So Isco, when you walk by me, she like put the hand like on your elbow as you're going by, and like just makes a point and say, it looks great. I can't wait.
Oh, thanks, Ms. Partois. I know you like it. I know you like it. A little crispy on the outside, so that's how I made yours.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Isco, you've outdone yourself yet again. This looks and smells fantastic.
I just grin and, like, you know, I kind of like nod and
come sit down. Stop wandering around. Like, we're all here together. Like, you're one of us. Just sit down and enjoy everything with us.
And I kind of like look at the table, and I'm like you can see me kind of doing the like I sort of count everything that's there, and I nod and I kind of do one of these, and I pull up a chair and I sit down.
Good.
Ian, do you have a title? Are you doctor or professor or anything like that? Or are you just Mr. Brandt?
Yeah, he's professor or doctor, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Professor Brandt. All right.
So, Miguel, you told me you had a business trip.
Yes, yeah.
How did that go?
Went down to Miami. I've got hopefully a big thing coming up, dealing with Burger King, looking for a new regional manager out here in Minneapolis, someone local, someone with roots. So I'm going to be working on that. Hopefully it will turn into something good.
Is that a big job? I mean, they're a huge corporation, right?
It's a pretty big job, but it's actually going to be sort of the entry level. If this works out well, it will turn into even bigger jobs for them.
So potentially a big resource for you.
Very potentially.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I think it's at this point that Laura reconsiders, like, just the mention of Burger King and thinking about crowns, and she like pulls out the Emperor card and takes a look at it. Does it have any like resemblance? You mentioned it has a sort of logo-like appearance. It just like occurs to her in that moment just to look at it again.
There's definitely blue, a good deal of blue, red, and yellow in the card.
So what do you know, Miguel, about this woman that you went to talk to? I only ask because I got something strange yesterday.
Miss
And
Fisher?
I pull out the card and I show it to everybody. I just sort of slide it to the middle of the table, moving the salt shaker aside, so brushing it off so it doesn't get damaged.
That's a tarot card, right?
Yep.
What does this one mean? They all mean something.
Well, the emperor, some sort of ruler, somebody in charge of something.
Does it?
I feel like maybe Laura would know a little bit more about the tarot than me, having taken the time to study it. I don't really know much more about the emperor than what I've just said.
I mean, you can Google the meaning of the emperor. It definitely means authority. Usually a very male character. But probably the most obvious meaning is it is a very strong, almost absolute authoritarian presence.
Yeah, imagine my character is on his phone Googling the Emperor card and trying to find any mention of threat or resource in the description.
Where'd you find it?
It just showed up in a briefing that I had at work. One of our big accounts, I had to do the final review, that sort of rubber stamping phase once it's gone through committee after committee. Just pretty standard stuff, but when I opened it, this card just fell out. I mean, I don't think there's anything strange about Jenkins. I mean, his name hasn't popped up recently, but weird things happen every day. I could be wrong about that for sure.
Weird things happen to you every day, Miss Bartois. I don't think they don't happen to the rest of us. So what kind of weird is that?
Well, it doesn't have a face. Like, that's not, and it's also just.
Oh, whoa! It's not supposed to look like that.
No, but that's not necessarily in itself the weird thing. But I just don't know. Like I can't find it as part of any other set that exists. And the Burger King comparison just comes immediately to mind, but.
So what are you worried about then? You're saying the Emperor, like in control, authority, leader, that type of things? Concerned that it might match my client? And new client?
It's certainly a possibility.
I think now's when I'm gonna pull out my printout and unfold it and slide it out onto the table and just say, I think we need to be very careful. I don't know what it means, but we should be careful.
Resource and threat.
That's some kind of computer thing.
Yep.
Yes, Isco.
I don't know that this has anything to do with the Emperor or with your client, but whatever it does have to do with, it's coming.
Is the Emperor a threat or a resource? Is my client a threat or a resource?
Are they one and the same?
Are they the Emperor? Either way, the vibe I got off of Miss Fisher is things can go well. She's kind of looking for an opportunity and the best resource and hoping to find that in me. And what for me would be good is to make sure that she's happy and that the Burger King Corporation, which is really that the big empire there, has loyal, like a loyal lower manager here that they can count on. They're not looking for strong authority or an ironclad rule. They want something softer, more malleable, but at least that's what she seems to be saying.
Did you have somebody in mind?
Got a couple of resumes. I'm going to look through them, talk with them, see where things are going.
So at that description, Laura is definitely like, oh, well, that's something I could do. Like, she's like, but she doesn't say anything. There's maybe a shift in her posture. And since you all know her decently, well, you maybe notice that something's up, but like, she's like, just, that's interesting.
You looking for a new position, Laura?
I mean, new opportunities come in front of you every so often, and it's best not to ignore that.
You think this Emperor Tarot card is a signal maybe that you should take more authority, something, say, over all of the Burger Kings in the Minneapolis region?
I would phrase it more as helping those to achieve their full potential, more than I would say total authority.
Of course. But with being a regional manager, you would have lots of people that you could help and reach their full potential, much more than what you have at your current accounting firm.
Just quick terminology, I think this would be a market manager.
Market manager. Cool.
Yeah, and if the reason this confluence comes to mind is if we really want to get this connection to achieve our ultimate goal, this connection between all the devices that people have with them at all times, and that's important, and we want to make sure that she sort of goes on a little bit in sort of managerial fashion about like, oh, the good of the organization, blah blah blah. But the point is,
there's a lot of people going through those restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
And driving through those drive-throughs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Burger King all over the city. They basically form a mesh. You could probably get to one within 5 to 7 minutes of any point in the city.
Right. Now here's a thought. If I did get this position and we had free public Wi-Fi installed,
maybe boost the signal.
There's maybe something maybe Ian could do something with that, I mean, people don't realize how much they give away. But whatever you all think is best, I think.
We can make that work. When's the last time you did an interview, Laura?
Oh, I'm sure that with a little bit of practice, I could get right back up to stuff. I think she's been at her current position for 8 to 10 years, something like that.
You might need a few practice rounds.
Well, you're the expert.
I am. We could make this work.
So wait, she asked you to find the person to do the job?
Yeah. Burger King needs a market manager. That's what I do. They need a job filled. I find the person who will fill that job. I also work the other direction. When people need a new job, I find the right position somewhere.
I mean, like, if you just tell them that Ms. Partois is the right one for the job, they'll give it to her?
No, but I cut through a whole bunch of interviews and resumes and things. I might give them a handful of candidates, 6 or so, or I might just give them one and say, this is the person you want to talk to. And I'll fast track them to the end of the interview process.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, Ms. Partois. I can't see you standing over a fryer.
Luckily, she won't have to.
Well, what if she's going to manage restaurants? How can she not be in the restaurant?
She'll probably have to manage. She'll have to go to the restaurants, but she's not necessarily going to be the one that's going to be there day to day in every single restaurant. It'll be about across all of the restaurants across all of Minneapolis. It's quite a few. You can't be in all those places at once.
Don't worry, I don't think their food will trump yours.
Oh, no. I'm not worried about that. I mean,
Ouch!
No. Like it's okay. It's okay. No, look. Fast food is important. People, it's cheap. It's there when people need it. It fills you up. It gets you through the day. There's nothing wrong with fast food. If it's at all, if the people that run the company care that the food is clean and well made, then there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I don't need to eat out because, I can bring home whatever I want, but I get why people eat it. I get why people like it. I'm not a snob about it.
You're good people, Isco.
I mean, I get food. I don't know, Miss Courtois. I don't know. Does she have to wear one of those polyester uniforms?
Just consider that image for a moment and then tell me whether or not you think the answer is yes.
I think you could pull it off.
Well,
So
I
like a
appreciate that,
completely straight face.
she's just like, okay. So, has anything else come to our attention this week? Part of being a manager is getting things back on track, and I just want to make sure we don't miss anything that might be important.
Can I ask you guys some questions?
Please.
What we're here for.
What's everybody's favorite color?
Red.
Green.
Shark gray.
What's the last fruit juice you drank?
Do you mind telling us what this is about?
Guava. Oh, no, wait. I had coconut water. Is coconut a fruit? Professor
Does wine
Brent,
count?
You would know that.
So wine count?
So I would say grape or cranberry, depending on whether or not you count wine.
And what about coconut water?
This is going to be complicated.
Is that fruit juice?
Mine was cran grape, when they blend it together.
No, because coconut water is not. I mean, coconut is a fruit, but it's not juice, right? Or is it? Because it comes out of the coconut.
I don't know, Isco. I thought you were the one who knew food.
I do know food, but I don't know how I would answer that question on a survey. Guava, definitely guava. Yeah, guava juice.
Good call. You can't go wrong with guava.
I mean, they don't call it coconut juice, right?
No, they call it coconut water, so it's not coconut juice.
Okay, guava juice. What's the next question?
That's it for now.
These new inputs you're trying to work with?
Was that a test?
I just
kind of test, wasn't it?
I just need more info.
That's it?
That's not it. We need to know what this threat is.
Does it have something to do with juice? Should we stop drinking juice?
It's got a lot of sugar. It's not great for you.
Especially guava juice.
No, guava juice is great. It's got a ton of vitamin C and it's got potassium. I water it down a little. I do like 50-50. It's great. Like after I ride my bike in, it really helps. You know what you shouldn't drink? No offense, Miss Partois. It's coffee. That stuff's terrible for you.
Yes, well, it's a habit of decades. I think I'll be okay.
Can I keep the card, or do you need that?
Could you scan it?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, scan it now. I'm sort of loath to part with it, especially given the unusual circumstance with which I obtained it.
Can I take a picture? Maybe one of the the guys at the parlor will have seen something like this before.
Sure.
And
You're discreet.
And I like very carefully pull out my phone and I kind of look around and I like hold it like really close to my body and I snap the picture of the card and then I like carefully put my phone back in.
I think she meant that you were discreet about showing the photo around.
But that's a really good start.
I don't know. Maybe there's like we're being watched or something.
Well, it's your restaurant.
No, it's not my restaurant. I mean, I work here, but it's not my restaurant.
Point.
Is that, Professor Brent, you're not eating the green beans. Are they okay? Did you want, like, I can get you some, I mean, did you want, like, some...
Hey, if you don't want your green beans, I will take those green beans. They are fantastic.
You want some, Professor Brent, you want, like, some Brussels sprouts instead or something? Or carrots?
Sorry, who's not eating the green beans?
Professor Brent?
Huh?
You.
Oh,
You. He was calling you by your
That's
character's last name.
my last name. I missed it. Yeah. Why am I not eating the green beans? No, they're good.
Okay. No, like...
Sorry, I'm just distracted.
You haven't, like, I'm looking at your plate and you haven't, like, finished them yet. So I'm like, nervous.
Yeah,
I clearly have an expression on my face like...
No, the green beans were my favorite, so I was saving those for last.
Oh,
Got to get your fiber somehow.
Excellent. Good.
Okay, so are you guys just kind of all going your own ways?
I think so. I mean, I think we kind of have... We're going to follow up on this weird tarot card, I think is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah. I feel like
Isco, do you mention to us the phone call, or do you just leave that as
Nothing
a crank
weird
call?
about that. That kind of shit happens all the time at the restaurant. We prank each other. Like people prank me all the time because they know I won't prank them back.
I think I want the actual card. Do you think if I promise to return it undamaged, you might lend it to me?
She gives it to you with some reluctance to you because you've gotten weird answers before, and she doesn't really know what to do about it.
I think
yeah.
I think I might need it. It matters, but I'll get it back to you.
Yeah, so I think this is it. Laura needs to go work on her interview skills.
Okay. So where are characters going from here?
It's a night, Tuesday, some random Tuesday night. I'm probably gonna. What would I do?
This doesn't have to be like the immediate future. Like, what is your plan to do next?
I think that my plan is to help Laura prep to get this job, but also do like other prep that I would for my job, like find out the other 3 other candidates and like really like make sure like call and then kind of set up everything with Miss Fisher's like, hey, here are the 4 best ones, but I really think you should look at this person. I think they're the strongest candidates. But there's some other ones in case that one doesn't have the right vibe or whatever, and you're looking for something different type stuff. So I'll do all of that stuff for my job, but really I'm probably trying to suggest Laura as the regional or as the market manager.
You do get a list of things that when you submit the possibilities, questions she specifically wants answered for her to review their qualifications. A lot of it is pretty basic. Some of it is more detailed as to who they are as a person. Some of it is oddly specific, like, are they a coffee drinker? What is their daily routine? Like, very much like she wants to know this person before she meets them.
What is the consistency of their stool?
No, not quite so much. Nothing that this is stuff that a coworker would know, not stuff that
Right. I think a lot of these things I probably know like some of the questions for each one of them because I've probably met with a lot of the people, especially for something at like this level of a position.
Yes.
Where like I've met with them, we've talked to them in person, maybe we've had drinks, maybe we've gone out to breakfast or whatever it is. So like I know some of those questions, but like for the strong candidates that I have there, I'm like, hey, let's go grab whatever meal is appropriate like for this. Like if coffee is one of the questions, like maybe let's go grab breakfast somewhere and like find out a little bit of information and talk about the prospects.
Yeah, you're a corporate recruiter. Of course, you can guess Erica Fisher's intention here. Her intention is she wants enough information that she can get an idea of what the people's routines are.
Right. Cool. Yeah. And so I go and gather the information. That,
and we're talking over the course of several days.
Yeah.
Noel, what is your immediate goals right now, or what's your thought of where you're going forward from here?
I mean, practically, I need to make sure my resume is up to date, do all those kinds of things. Like I'm a manager, of course, I can, review my qualifications. I can double check my references and all those things.
Of course, you can write a compelling resume. Of course, you can, know how to. Both sides of an interview.
Right. But the question of this card is really nagging at me. Because I don't think that Laura has had much tarot experience except for my first exposure, finding the Hanged Man, and this. So once she's sort of like done that stuff for the day, she's gonna get in touch with Ian and see what's come of that.
Okay, so she's gonna want to check in with Ian pretty shortly. Which let's go into Ian. What is your thoughts of where you want to be going right now?
Oh, Ian couldn't wait to get back with that card to scan it in and start entering more data in. It's like, what's her name? Erica Fisher and Miami weather patterns weren't even, totally not in my head to even include. And, he probably didn't get much sleep the rest of the night because he was just like scrambling to try to get extra data into his model.
Wait, where do you live?
Where do I live? I think he just has an apartment.
Okay.
Um,
And we'll get into that after the break, I think. Isco, what are your thoughts of where you want to be heading in the pretty immediate future, not necessarily tonight, but coming up soon?
This evening, as soon as the meeting is over, I am headed over to Aces and Eights, which is the name of the tattoo parlor that I hang out at.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent. That gives me an idea of how to set things up going forward. Let's all take a 5-minute break. Let's be back here. Let's say a little bit before 45 after. That should give people. Does that work for everyone?
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
See you in a few minutes. Hey,
Awesome.
and just a moment to say thank you to everybody for letting me jump in late. I apologize. Like I had a thing that came up just yesterday with some friends, and I really appreciate your letting me jump in, even though I was a little late. So thanks for your accommodation there. I'm looking
no
forward to the
worries.
rest of the game.
Hey,
thanks, guys.
Shit happens, and not all of it is horrifying.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hang up for a second, see if I can get video.
Okay.
You have video.
I do. Hello.
Hey. Awesome.
I was just realizing that my profile picture is like 5 years old now.
Yeah. My profile picture is from a wedding that where the people are now divorced. So
great.
they are no longer together.
That's too bad.
It's all right. It happens.
It does.
Hey, I caught the end of that conversation. My profile picture, the orange, is actually from a previous career.
Oh.
It was I used to be a high school math teacher, and that was an inside joke between me and a student that he actually carried through with.
That's fun.
If you notice, it's the quadratic formula and a bunch of other information about parabolas is written on that orange.
Yeah, I've never looked at it closely enough to know.
My two cats are still alive, so you don't have to be sad when you look at them. They're not as cute. They're big and beasts now, but
yeah, we got kittens over the summer that went that direction pretty quick. One of them's like 13 pounds now or something.
Speaking of pets, so I was just watching on my downtime the music video for Rachel Bloom's I Steal Pets, which is totally an Unknown Armies character.
Is that from the new season?
No, this is before she did Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I feel like Oh, yes, that music video. Yes, I
steal
remember
pets
now.
from the popular people and then dress them up like the popular people.
Yeah, it's gonna be stuck in my head now. I get earworms at the drop of a hat. People just them up like the popular. Damn it! No.
Pets aren't yours. Pets are mine. So I just want to verify that Jim's back before we get started.
Yep, it looks like he's still muted there.
Let's give him a couple more minutes, and if not, we'll just start and go around his stuff so we can get give him the time we need. But okay, yeah, let's just let's start with Ian. So when you're getting back home, you're hearing a bunch of your neighbors complaining about the internet.
Complaining in what way?
Like, what is this bullshit? Why do I keep getting these types of messages? And like people are kind of gathered in the hallways, like being like, yeah, I got that too. What the fuck's going on? I asked my mom, across town, and she's not getting this shit. Do you want to get into part of the conversation, get a better idea?
Gosh, sure sounds like they're getting the same thing. Yeah, I'll definitely want to talk to them to confirm exactly what it is they're getting.
Yeah, so there's like this 20-year-old in the building is like, I think it's fucking hilarious. Shit, look at this. would I ever consider growing out half of my beard split down from split left to right? I mean, who the fuck comes up with these questions? Like, he swipes yes. Okay, this one. Have I ever jacked off into a condom? Like, do I still sleep with a teddy bear? I mean, this is hilarious. I don't know what this person's asking, but it's genius.
Scroll back. When did the first one come in?
Fuck, I've been getting this shit all day.
But like, when exactly? Like, scroll back. Let me see.
I'm not showing you my damn phone.
I'm not. I'm asking you to look. Tell me, when did the first one come in?
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, I think the first ones I got were on Snapchat.
Weird. But it's happening
like
to
this survey is like 64 in 64 questions I can guess if you're male or female. I mean, although the condom thing probably gives it away, right?
I mean, only if your answer is yes.
Look, another neighbor's like, I don't know. I'm not entertained. Like, I've got work to do, and I can't find my work emails because my work computer is getting flooded with this shit.
Yeah, I don't think I'm interested in offering to help. Well, except it would get me a look at their computer.
But yeah, one of the neighbors is like, "Hey, you're into like technology. What the fuck's going on here?"
I could maybe help you set up a spam filter to. I can take a look at least, if you want. Although at the same time, like, I'm itching to go scan that card. I'm like, this opportunity, better take it now while I have it. So are they gonna let me on their computer?
Yeah, one of the neighbors is like an older man is like, I don't understand this stuff. It just keeps dinging. I thought I have this muted, but it's just giving me the "you got mail" message over and over and over again. Like, shit, isn't that from like 30 years ago?
So am I getting messages too, or it just?
Now that you're in the building, you're getting the messages.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to get onto his computer so I have another reference point to compare what he's getting to what I'm getting.
The surveys are getting more specific. Like, what Game of Thrones character are you? When was the last time you had sex? I bet I can guess in 20 questions. It's sounding more and more like stupid internet surveys, but they're all getting flooded, like constantly, and it's like every single account that the computer's logged into.
Okay. And it started for this guy the same time it started for me.
I mean, you have to scroll through thousands of messages.
I mean, I guess I told the guy I would try to filter this out. Do I think I can at all, or no?
Well, I mean, there's you take a look at his spam folder, and his inbox is nothing compared to his spam filter. Like, this is just bulk targeting.
Yeah, I think I just disconnect his computer from the internet for now. Say, it should stop beeping, but yeah, for now.
About 4 minutes later, his phone rings.
His phone rings. Okay. I'm not going to answer his phone.
He answers and he's like, "No, I don't want to take a survey. I don't care what political party you're in. Just leave me alone." Rings again. "No, I don't want to take a survey about TV."
Plug his computer back in or reconnect it to the internet.
They're now coming through the internet.
Interesting.
Darndest thing, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that before. I don't know. That's weird.
How weird is it? Let's see. You have two in unnatural, hardened. I think you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I got to ditch this guy and get to my setup. I gotta scan this card. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into it, and yeah, if I find out anything, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay. So when you get back into your apartment, there's errors flashing on all over your screens, saying bandwidth error, connectivity error. Go ahead and yeah, you can go ahead and roll science teacher to see if you have got a pretty good idea of what's going on here. Like science teachers, you're all about taking in the evidence and making informed guesses.
Where are we rolling?
Oh, sorry. I forgot to post roll for your party. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I've used it before.
I set up a bunch of D100s already, so you can just click one, move it aside, and roll that.
Okay. I'm grabbing the orange one.
Okay. Yeah, 26. That's well underneath your score. It's not a great roll, but this is pretty obvious what's going on. Someone is attacking your system by eating up all the bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
By basically sending you these nonsense surveys.
Right.
They don't know your computer. They probably just know the IP, and they're just like flooding the IP.
Yeah. Okay. I need to get a VPN set up for the whole building.
So, I was kind of hoping to hit Jim's stuff next, but he's still not back. So let's go with Miguel and Laura, because you guys are kind of doing this together.
Sure.
Yep.
I'm here. I jumped in for a second just to kind of show you I was here, and then I jumped off, but you may not have been looking.
Yeah, I didn't see you.
Okay, sorry.
Well, temporarily, there's something happening with Isco tonight. So let's do Isco, and then we'll circle back around. So you were going to the tattoo parlor.
Yeah, I'm going to Aces and Eights, brother.
Yeah. Who runs Aces and Eights?
Who runs Aces and Eights? Aces and Eights is run by Andrea, who's a like a former dyke punk rocker in like her indeterminate like late 40s, maybe even early 50s. You know, and like she's just like covered in ink, but like super gifted tattoo artist and you know, good head for business and stuff like that. I'm gonna say she used to manage bands before she opened this place. And like of the two
40s or 50s?
Like late 40s, yeah.
Late 40s.
Like she's got that kind of like Joan Jett, you're not sure, like she's clearly like lived a lot, you know, and seen some stuff. Probably was addicted to at least one substance at one time or another and then kicked it. But she's got you know, like ink all over, and the like, you know, like multiple nose rings and like a thing through her septum, and you know, like ear cuffs and the whole like all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I found a short notice picture. I'm not sure how good of a representation was, but I just wanted to post a image. Is that what you were thinking?
Where am I looking here?
NPCs and stuff.
Which is
the tab on the character keeper. There's two tabs. One is the characters and one's the NPCs.
Oh shoot! I didn't realize there was a second tab there. That's what's throwing me.
I might have found a better one.
That's the character creation. That's where's it may be.
Nope, it's in the character keeper. So the spreadsheet.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Okay. NPCs and stuff. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah.
I might have found a better one.
Boom. Right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay. Perfect.
That's Andrea.
You come in and she's actually like excited. She's like, "Oh man, Isco, you gotta see the sick ink this guy's getting."
And I grin and I hand her the takeout bag from the restaurant, and I say, and you know, and I just kind of shrug, and you know,
she pinches your cheek, says, "You're a doll, but no fucking food on the tattoo floor."
And I go, and I say, "I'll put it in back. I know where the fridge is." And I go, you know, and I like, and this is kind of the establishing shot where it's very clear that even though I don't work here, everyone knows me, and I can just kind of cruise through, walk into the back where they're inking somebody, and into, you know, past the curtain that says, you know, no fucking mundanes on it. And, you know, in the back where there's like the, you know, whatever, like the dorm fridge that I pop open, and I kind of move a couple of the beer bottles aside, and I slip that in there.
Well, on your way over to the back, the guy doesn't have a privacy curtain going. Sure. So, and actually a lot of the artists are like checking this out because you know, they're pretty damn impressed. Yeah. But you kind of peek over the shoulder. It's a T-Rex getting crucified with its center split open and guts hanging out, just like the dinosaur you saw at that dinner party. On top of the dinosaur, on the top of the T-Rex's head, is a top hat.
Okay, so I like blink once, and like turn myself away, quick into the back, put the food in the fridge.
Well, I think that this is.
Is this weird enough that I got to make a roll?
Yeah, I'm definitely pushing to trigger shit here.
That's
so
totally,
let's go ahead
on
and take a look at your stress check or your hardens to see what this might be going after. So let's see. Unnatural.
I've only got 2 in unnatural.
Yeah. Well, that's enough to cover like a deja vu. So this is representative art, so it's not as bad as it could be. There's nothing inherently unnatural about it.
I think it, but yeah, certainly would bring me up a step or two.
You're protected from it from an unnatural standpoint because of your two hearted. Helplessness. Let's see. You got 4 helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're protected there. This is probably less intense than getting dumped into a pit of maggots. So you're good there. Isolation, no. Self. Yeah, I think this is a low level self check, but you only have 1 hardened. So why don't we have you roll against self?
Okay, let me go to roll for your party here.
And this is you're going to be rolling notice unless you have something that protects against self.
Let me see. I get back and forth here. I do not have anything that protects against. Seriously inked resists shock to self.
Yeah, except it looks like your notice is. Yeah, it looks like your notice is already better though.
Okay.
So
I rolled 60. I rolled 63 over 55.
So that means you failed because you rolled over your number.
How do I put my name next to the die here?
I don't think you can for roll for your party.
Yeah, so if you just create a label, in the top section, like there's a label thing, and then hit submit, and then it'll give you a label that you can click on and move around wherever you want.
Where am I looking for that?
Here, I can create it. That must have been a pretty recent thing because I don't remember that.
So if you then click on ISCO, you should
I moved ISCO for him. But you should be able to click it just like I was able to.
Where's the create a label thing?
It's next to cards.
Yeah, it's at the top at the section. So like where you put in all the submissions for like D4, D6, D8. If you go to the right of that, there's a label. It says label : and then there's a text box, and you can put in.
Okay.
So,
and then you hit the red submit button.
Oh, there we go. Okay, hitting enter like you normally would think to do does not. And there it is. That's super cool. Okay.
Cool. So in any case, you choose one of 3 reactions. You can either panic, be paralyzed by this.
I screwed that up. Sorry.
Or go into a
frenzy. Clearing my label out. Sorry. Go ahead.
You can either panic, frenzy,
yep,
or be paralyzed by this experience.
I think I'm paralyzed. That's the thing that makes complete sense here.
Mm-hmm. In addition,
my instinct, even when I didn't have to roll, was this kind of holds me up a step.
Yep. In addition to that, you increased your number of failed notches on self by 1. And you may want to, when you have a chance, read about what that does to your personality. And that would be on page 24.
Okay.
But in any case, so you say you freeze up.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think the tattoo group, totally realizes that you're, sitting there, hyperventilating. And they're trying to coax you out of it. It takes them some time.
I think what happens is I suspect for a minute I kind of lose my English.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like muttering to myself in Tagalog and not and like presuming that there isn't anyone else in the tattoo parlor that speaks it. That might be kind of weird for them, like a little scary that I'm like speaking in tongues or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think speaking in a foreign language isn't necessarily going to put them off too much.
No, yeah, sure.
They're,
yeah, that's totally fine.
I think they're more worried because you're their buddy, and
I'm clearly in distress.
You're having a panic attack.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And of course they know how to handle someone having a panic attack. They're tattoo artists. So yeah, they get you water and shit, and even the artist checks in on you, make sure you're okay. They ask, hey, look, you don't have to say. Andrea says, look, if you don't want to say what was wrong there, you don't have to, but let us know. Aces and Eights is a safe place.
And I look at her like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I've heard her kind of call bullshit on that. And then I just kind of deflate and I say, it just reminded me of something.
Shit, man. Sorry,
It's not your fault. It happens. You've seen it happen around here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that shit would trigger, would be an issue. I thought it was I've never heard of anyone coming up in ideas that fucked up before. But look, if you want to talk, kid, I'm here for you.
And I kind of shrug, and I say, what would make me feel better?
Shoot.
And I point at the bag that's sitting on top of the fridge, and I say, you eat that before it gets soggy.
Fuck, kid, you're all sorts of messed up. Fine.
Really, it'd help me feel better.
She goes and takes off the food. You know what you're going to do to me? She sticks the fork in and takes a big bite. You're going to make me fat. Then no one's going to want to fuck this.
And I roll my eyes and I'm like, and I say, you have university girls lined up around the block, and we both know that.
Let's just cut the scene there.
Perfect.
Let's deal with what Ian is doing in the face of the attack on his basically on his ISP as a flashback, and go a bit in the future to the planning for the job interview.
Yeah, so I've brought. We're probably at some kind of I don't know, like an upscale cafe, nicer than a Starbucks type of place.
Sure.
Coffee in hand, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made up my resume to look all nice. And I've just handed to you to give a look. I know it's been a while, but I looked up a template or two online, and this is one that looked pretty, modern and
I mean,
well laid out.
It definitely fits that template of what you see online. And then I take out a pen and I do look, I see literally hundreds of these all the time. Change this, change this, change this. You'll get a much better response.
All right, she takes it, a little bit miffed that she is taking instructions from a whippersnapper like you, of course.
Of course.
But I was like, okay, so it's been a while since I've interviewed, and especially for a job like this, how do I convince Fisher was the name, right?
Yes.
Fisher that I'm the right person when I wasn't even on her little sort of short list type deal.
Well, you're on her short list now. That's the
That's
reason why
true.
I'm here.
Of course. But I need to live up to that.
So the key for any of these good interviews is knowing what they're looking for. And it's both a process of figuring out whether or not you're a good fit for them, for you, as well as them figuring out if you're a good fit for them. So be curious and asking the right questions, know what you want, but also be ready for the answers that that are going to be coming. Fisher is somebody who really cares about her employees, the people that she goes to bat for. So she's going to want to know whether or not you're going to be somebody she can get along with, what your daily routine is, what those types of things are. So like she might ask you whether or not you drink coffee, or what your favorite wine is, or something along those lines. Things to make sure that you have things to talk about in a day-to-day business, as well as just being able to work together.
Laura's like writing this down in a little notebook.
Oh, it feels so weird. Like deep in your soul to be taking advice from someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like something is clawing against it.
But Laura's my protege.
I think you'll find, in fact, that Mikkel is mine. Thank you very much. So she says, all right, so that's what you can do for me. Now, what can I do for you?
Look, you haven't been on an interview in a while. And the thing that matters to me, no offense, is I want both you to do well, and I want this relationship with Fisher to go well, because it's going to mean a lot for my business. So the thing that I personally get really annoyed at all the time is when people don't show up to their interviews on time. Like, if there's going to be a phone interview, make sure your fucking phone is right there and you're ready for that call, because it will come there. All I need you to do is be the best person that I know you are, and everything will be fine.
All right. I can help you with that. And she feels a little bit better, just having reframed this in her own mind. Like, no, I'm still doing somebody else a solid, and that's what matters. So yeah, I guess I do ask a few more questions probably about like what, like, did she say anything specific about the nature of the work and that kind of thing, and making sure I'm up to date on the lingo, because having worked in a relatively small accounting firm for 8 years, I'm not necessarily the newest, business terms that people like to throw around, getting familiar with that kind of stuff, so I can make sure to hold the right level of conversation that I need to.
Yeah. And I feed you all the things that she cares about just like what she's looking for in terms of like what the marketing manager would be doing, all those things that I've kind of learned and gathered, and the little like tidbits of like what she likes and what she's looking for.
Yeah, so there's a pause, and I think Laura has been really waiting to say something for a while, and she says, so I don't want to pry exactly, but is there something going on between you and Isco recently?
What do you mean?
She just kind of like changes postures. Like, I mean, you've seen. Surely you've noticed what I've noticed.
No, I don't think. I mean, he makes fantastic food. I feel like nobody else appreciates his food like I do.
Uh-huh. You're there all the time
Right.
and all that stuff.
I am there all the time. Good
All right.
food, great bar.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to Antonio? You should talk to Antonio.
Not exactly my type.
No. You don't understand. See, Antonio, like, I mean, he's not one of us, but he sort of knows what's going on. Like, he's got some leads and some information. You should talk to Antonio.
Does that mean you've been telling him about what we've been up to?
No, well, not specifically, but like, you should hear the stories. Like, he has heard everything before. And like, he's told me about some of the other stories that he's heard. And like, as much of the weird shit that we've heard, he's heard just as many stories.
I'll take that under advisement, but maybe be a little bit more careful with what you say to him in the future.
I don't know. I mean, I understand we don't want to tell everybody everything, but at a certain point, trust goes a little bit both ways. You have to let people in a little bit in order to get some more stuff out of it. Can't be closed
I
off
don't
so
know.
much.
With the people in this sphere, shall we say, that might have consequences that we don't necessarily intend.
Everything has consequences we don't necessarily intend.
Yeah, but this is not the same as like a jilted lever, so to speak. I mean, we've both seen weird shit. I don't want to invite any more of that than we absolutely need to get what we need to get done.
I've also seen some really jilted lovers, so
I think right about now you see you notice that there's a big commotion going on outside.
yeah. We turn to look at it.
Oh man, traffic is totally being held up by this guy basically on a bicycle dragging this cart, and it's like this on the back of the cart is like a this weird mannequin sculpture with a bad toupee made to style to look like Donald Trump, like aviator sunglasses, like that's traditional for basically why am I blanking on the term? Despots. That's not the term I really want, but close enough. And there's like sparklers going along everywhere, around the whole thing, and random fireworks going off of the cart. And he's going the wrong way down the street. Like cars are needing to go the wrong direction, and like it's drawing a huge crowd. As you guys are do you guys go outside to see what's going on here?
I just looked through the window a bit, and I'm like, what do you make of that?
I'm going to go outside and see if I can help him. Clearly, something is wrong. Like, I don't want him to get hurt. And she gets up.
You notice, like, trailing behind the cart are these paintbrushes that, like, move in directions and are leaving, like, some kind of cool, like, artistic design as the guy's passing down the street.
So is he reacting in any way to like the people who are undoubtedly like honking and shouting at him, or is he just like doing his thing?
Blowing them kisses.
So I try and like keep pace with him as best I can, and just see if I can get his attention. Like hey, buddy.
I'll follow.
He smiles, waves, gives you the middle finger.
And I kind of like look to you, Laura, and I'm like, maybe we can get him off to the sidewalk, like kind of like gesture to like off the road type thing, because he's just on a bicycle. So I think like maybe what I want to do is like try to like almost get ahead of him and like sort of like lead a procession, like start to like where I'm leading him to somewhere else where it's causing less traffic.
Are you asking me whether that's a good idea?
No, I'm doing it and I'm hoping to get you to help.
I see. I think I start like while you do that, I start like shepherding people out of the way, like because with all these fireworks going off, I'm worried like there's maybe somebody with their kid there. I'm like, no, go back inside. Like worried that this man is, you know, could do something dangerous or just be dangerous by the fact of these fireworks and stuff.
I mean, so not like super big fireworks. They're like, stuff that you can buy at Target.
Yeah, but still, if it's like going off unpredictably, who knows what he's got in there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the longer you follow him, the more you realize he has some sort of timed contraption to make sure that they go off at like regular intervals.
I see.
The more you follow him, the more it looks like his goal is to disrupt traffic.
Okay.
There's
So
people
Miguel is
taking there are people on the street like taking pictures of it, taking pictures of like the art left behind.
I'm totally going to help him.
How are you going to help him?
He's trying to cause traffic. Like that's like as we're watching it, like that seems to be like the thing he's trying to do.
Yeah, it seems like when people get in his way, he like steers around them, but like isn't like he's definitely trying to get into the street. He's definitely trying to make issues for cars trying to go down the street. This is I assume you guys are in an area of Minneapolis called Uptown, which is kind of like nicer shops. The traffic doesn't go very fast, but it's a lot of places where people walk around.
And he's got a Trump thing. So like I think I'm gonna ask him basically like what he's protesting or doing something along those lines, like if he's for Trump or against Trump or like what he's doing. Does he like respond with anything verbal that I can understand?
He puts a kazoo in his mouth. It just starts buzzing. He says, "Art's art, bitch," and starts buzzing on the kazoo.
All right. So what he says, like when he comes to that, like I'm gonna start like talking to like all the people, like in like making announcements and like pronouncements, especially like towards all like the cameras and people watching, of like how this guy is protesting for all the budget cuts for all the art programs and education and things like that. That's how I'm helping.
Yeah, there's a reporter. He's like, "Oh, so you are you affiliated with him?"
No. But like you can tell the true soul of an artist here and what he is doing, and like the deprivation of this country and all the budget cuts, and like artists need to survive, like this creativity and these things, and like just keep going about that. Like
this is a reporter who came up to you when you were speaking. They're like, "Okay, so this is your interpretation. You don't actually know Joey Nitro."
Joey Nitro. No, I don't.
Look, you're kind of blocking the shot, so she's like, "So
look, take your shots, do what you need."
Man, I thought we finally can get a statement from him.
You're never gonna get a statement from Joey Nitro.
So you do know Joey Nitro.
Well, I mean, I know of Joey Nitro, and
look, stop wasting our time. Apparently, he's getting a bit of buzz.
I think
Yeah.
I come up and I like come up to Miguel. I'm like put a hand on his shoulder. It's like, you're embarrassing yourself. Let's go. Let's go. There's nothing we can do about this right now. We'll just have to watch out for this guy and see what he's up to.
You know what happened the last time Joey Nitro was left around? What happened?
Hey, that's just a rumor. Totally true. Just a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, but I don't know how that and this are connected. Like, burning down a mall is one thing. Just doing some batshit performance art is another.
How do you think the other started?
Well, the place was abandoned. It was a fire trap anyway. Like, this is different.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't abandoned until after Joey hit it.
Look, there was
empty.
There was supposed to be a flash mob. You know, it was supposed to go on YouTube. A riot broke out. Flames were everywhere. Joey Nitro was blamed.
Do you reckon we should call the guys? I mean, short of a physical altercation, I don't know what we're going to be able to do to stop him. I mean, you tried talking to him. You tried talking to the reporter. It didn't really do anything.
Well, maybe the reporter. Maybe people will come. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows what Joey actually wants? He's disrupting traffic. Seemed to be getting attention. Maybe that's just enough. Maybe Uptown won't go up in flames.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Man, he wishes Uptown would go up in flames. In any case. So let's circle back. Ian, what have you been up to?
Do I think I can defend myself from this attack?
Well, I mean, right now it is basically looks like it is based on your electronic location. You don't know why you're being attacked, but it's definitely like, yes, you know, everything that is, you know, there's stuff that your computer takes in that it can't block. It can't block like atmospheric readings and things like that. But anything that's connecting to the internet, it is you know, someone's trying to eat up all of your bandwidth with these surveys. At least that's the only logical conclusion you can come up with.
Sure. It's just
logical conclusion.
Sure. I mean, I kind of like the image of him disassembling it and packing everything into his car and going over to one of these other guys' house.
If you like that for the story, fucking do it.
Yeah, let's just do that.
I assume it takes a while to pack everything up.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
that will allow for like the time difference. Whose place are you going to invade?
Anybody want to volunteer?
Oh no, it's way more interesting if you. Who would your?
I mean, if you asked me for help, I would probably do it. I would. I just like not that you have to. But
yeah.
She's done weird stuff like this for y'all before, probably.
Like this.
I mean, to a greater or lesser extent.
Yeah, I think that makes sense that he would reach out to Laura.
Okay, let's have that conversation.
So I guess is this happening before the events with Joey Nitro? Did you say it was going to be a flashback?
I could have spent all this time taking it apart and getting it into my car.
Sure.
Like that's the priority, right? Because like this place isn't safe, so I've got to get it all into my car, and only once that's done, then I need to figure out, okay, now where do I set it back up again?
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, your phone continues to ding with survey requests this entire time.
So do you give me a call then?
Yeah.
All right, so Ian, what a lovely surprise. What's up?
Laura, I haven't scanned the card yet. There's been a problem.
So do you need help fixing this problem? Like what kind of problem do we have going on here?
It's not safe for me to do my work here at home anymore. I need a new place to set up.
So this sounds to be, and I'm sort of angling for this a little bit, but it sounds to be like this triggers one of my channels, which is inherent direction. It's a bit of a long description, so I didn't copy the whole thing into the sheet, and it's bulleted, but it's on page 106 as the book goes, which for the PDF I have is also page 106.
Okay.
No matter where the guide is, mentally or physically, he has a chance of sending someone in the right direction. It can only work when someone else activates it by asking for advice or guidance or instruction.
This is the 51%.
Actually,
I'm just rather than reading all of them, I'm trying to get an idea of which one I should read.
Yeah, let's say the 51%. This is like once a day I can offer solid advice. And if you do what, assuming I succeed my roll, and if you do what I say, you get to flip-flop your next roll, which can be very useful.
Okay.
So I'll roll my avatar thing, and so my score in that is 65. Oops, that didn't. Well, that's no good. I rolled
80.
an 80.
And since avatar identities work differently, you do not get to mark that was failed.
Right. That goes down if I break taboo, right?
Right. You have to do stuff to make it go up.
Right, like successfully guide people, which I have not done.
Yes. So go ahead and give Ian some cryptic bad advice.
Well, don't people always talk about those internet cafes? Maybe you just plug into a public one. That'll be enough.
That is the best bad advice in the world.
I'm sorry. I gotta. There's this like weird thing happening in Uptown. Miguel and I are on it. I can't really say more than that. I hang up and then I text you a picture. Like, what the hell is this? Implicitly inviting you to plug it into your thing, but that's it. Laura's
you sent me a picture of Joey Nitro?
Yeah.
The next thing you get on your phone is, what will Joey Nitro do next? answer this survey to find out.
Yeah, I need to find a place I can set up. See if you can find out what his favorite color is, and I'll hang up.
The next one is, if you were to pack it all up and escape somewhere, where'd you go? Find out in this short survey.
I'm wondering.
The next one is coconut water and juice. Find out in these 5 questions.
I might look at that one. An internet cafe. I wonder if I'm not sure how to take that.
By the way, every one of these surveys I've said, no matter how funny they are actually what's being offered to you. I just want to stress that this is not just me kidding around.
I wonder if I could just. I haven't said what kind of car I have. If I could actually just set this all up mobile in my car and like drive from hotspot to hotspot.
I'd let you roll your identity for predictive modeling to see if you could set this up as a mobile thing. Your car is going to look freaky as fuck, but
yeah, that's great. I'm all for that. Yeah, okay. So
I'm imagining you drive something like a station wagon.
Yeah. Volvo station wagon.
Nice.
I rolled a 26.
26. Let me is yes, you can do it, but it will be obvious that if a cop looks at your car, they're going to assume that you're running a pirate broadcasting station.
I mean, that's less frightening than whoever is sending all this creepy spam. Yeah, we'll deal with that when it comes. Yeah, let's do it and start actually getting back to work on scanning this card, I guess.
Okay. Let's go back to Isco. So you had a pretty freaky night. Means what the fuck was with that? How does that affect you? What are you doing? Let's say it's the next day. What are you going to do in the face of that?
So I think I would like, my original mission was to show around the picture of the tarot card. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'm so flipped out by that I would forget to do that.
Okay.
So I do show it to, I show it around to some of the artists and ask if they've ever seen this before.
Man, that's a tarot? God, that is like the fucking... It's like McDonald's ate like a classic and shat out complete shit.
And I shrug and I say, yeah, I don't know tarot from Bicycle.
I mean, is like, the old school Rider Waite, that's like, that's like American Freeform. It's a classic. You don't, if you're going to fuck with it, you gotta have some soul here. This is just like, looks like corporate douchebaggery.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, that's really helpful. And to take my phone back. I think I will do a thing which I never do, which is leave early. Normally I stay there until they close. At like whatever time Minneapolis legally requires them to close, because they'd stay open all night if they could, but the city probably doesn't let them.
Probably 10.
Yeah. Okay. So like, whenever the city forces, I would normally stay till whenever the city forces them to close, but I stay long enough to make sure that Andrea eats the food. And then I take the takeout container out and I throw it in the trash can in the alley so that it doesn't stink up the place. And then I just ghost. Like I go, I'm going to toss this out, and I walk out the back door to toss it out. And then instead of going back, I just I'm gone without saying goodbye to everybody.
Do you stay long enough for them to finish the tattoo?
No motherfucking way.
Okay.
I am out, and I'm not, and like very explicitly, I'm ghosting. I'm not I'm
no goodbyes, nothing.
No, know her, like, oh, are you okay, honey? Like none of that crap. I'm just out because I know that when I come home early, my grandma will be happy enough because she'll still be awake when I come home. That she'll help me feel better.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm going home, and I'm hoping to catch my grandmother before she falls asleep.
Yeah, she gives you some leftovers from dinner. Let's say it's just like a normal night. What do you do the next morning?
Alarm goes off at 4. I'm up. Take a shower. Get on my bike. Motor in. My motorcycle. When I say bike, I mean motorcycle. Motor in and get to work because I got to work today.
Okay. Yeah, I think today, during your first break, like before the lunch crowd comes in, you kind of take a break.
Yeah.
And that's when you usually eat your lunch, like at around 10.
Yeah.
And where is that? Yeah, waiting for you is little Maria. She's kind of sitting there chatting with Antonio, like at the bar.
Maria Rosa Rodriguez.
Miguel's sister.
Oh, she's a waitress.
Nope. She's Miguel's sister.
Miguel's sister. That's right. Okay.
And she kind of likes to hang around.
Okay.
She's not quite 21, but
sure.
She doesn't ask for any alcohol.
Okay.
So they say, hey, look, this is a nice enough place where we don't need to card you in order to get into the door.
Sure.
And usually she doesn't eat much and just puts it on her brother's tab.
Okay. I come in, I say, I come in, I sit down at one of the cocktail tables, with my, my plate of, like I made myself some eggs.
Mhm.
Like, and like cause I can do that thing cause I work in the kitchen, so I can make myself like
Yeah.
whatever the fuck I want. So like I've got, whatever, like, I made myself like a nice goat cheese omelet or something like that.
Mhm.
And I walk in, and like, and I go, hey Maria, how's Miguel?
Oh, busy, kind of a workaholic,
And I kind of nod, like knowingly, like, yeah.
So when are we going to see you in class again?
um, and I say, well, I'm only auditing it, so I only go once a week.
You're never going to learn like that. Like at least, we could do a study group.
Well, I mean, I have all the books and the lessons.
Yeah, but do you ever actually read any of them?
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, and sincerely, actually, I mean, I do. Like I do all my homework.
Mhm.
Like I'm fastidious. That's my whole. There's a system, and I follow the system. And if the professor says do this, this, and this, I do this, this, and this. Even I think probably even if I'm not necessarily actually absorbing all of it as I'm doing it,
Mhm.
like I believe that if I do enough of it, eventually it will make sense to me.
Yeah. So she asks you a
But, like,
question about let's say electrostatic shock that was not covered in the readings.
um uh uh and I just look at her and I say, was that in the readings?
No, it was in class. That's why you attend class. The readings are a supplement to class.
Well, I can't go to class I can't go to class 3 nights a week.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to learn this? Because
I
you don't want to be a prep cook forever, do you?
and like I kind of and I look down at my eggs, um and I just shake my head, and I kind of do one of these, like, and just,
Come on,
like
no.
like a very ostentatious, you just hurt my feelings.
Oh,
And
come on.
like,
She's like stuttering and like, come on, don't be like that. Come on. And she just looks mortified that you're not talking to her now.
um so um I say, uh and I like kind of pause between breaths, and like with my back to her, I like hold my fork up and I say, um uh um I may not know what electrostatic shock is, but all my classes are paid for. I don't know anybody anything, and I go back to eating my omelet.
Oh fuck, you just went hardcore on her. Um I think she needs to make a self check. Let's see. Self was notice, if I recall.
Self is notice. Yep.
Okay.
Unless you have a substitution ability, like I do.
Okay. So yeah, she trying to think of how she responds here. I think she gets pretty mad, and she says, "The worst thing in life is somebody who wastes an opportunity." And she just gets up and leaves.
Okay. And I shake my head. And finish my omelet. And scene, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So let's go to Miguel. So you sat down with Laura, gave her your advice. Who else were you thinking of having putting forward on this?
There's probably 3 or 4 other candidates through the stack of resumes that I have that would probably work. And so
Yeah.
probably.
What's the name of one of them, and like what do they do?
Oh, what would be a good name? Let's see.
Someone else can volunteer a name, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's figure out what would be a good thing for them to do. So let's say like one of them is like the manager for some other corporate stores, like maybe like a Macy's manager or something like that, but is like moving their way up or something like that, and looking for something bigger.
Yeah, actually, a general manager of a Macy's is a pretty big job already.
Right.
So something like a district or a market manager would be a logical step for them.
Yep. So let's.
I think they used to manage the Mall of America.
Right.
The other thing that makes sense is for someone who does an equivalent job for a local chain or whatever, like the thing that started as the local burger stand that now has 8 locations around the city.
Mm-hmm.
And like the person who, if you hire that person away, it's probably going to hose them because they've been the only person that's ever done that job, but they're really good at it.
Yeah.
You could get someone from Punch Pizza. It's a lot more it's a lot nicer than like a fast food place. They do Neapolitan pizzas. They probably have like 6 or 7 or 8 locations in the Twin Cities.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And they literally have like a wood fire oven that they cook pizzas in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that guy, that person who is like the manager of that. And then, like I said, somebody who's a manager at Maestries, like the general manager there. And then probably somebody else who is like a VP of some other business and then maybe moved out. So that moved out or what could I be? You know what? It is probably going to be somebody like a VP for a tech company who is like the husband or wife of somebody else who moved back to Minneapolis to be like with them in this job, but is still doing their job remotely. So like they have to like fly to San Francisco or fly to New York every other week or something like that.
So like a high power exec willing to take a downgrade.
Right, exactly. Because they're like, I don't want to fly every single week or every other week type thing.
Tired of owning a second condo in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I totally have a picture for the Macy's manager to help come up with a name. So, let's say, to make it simpler, let's just have this be the guy that you're meeting with today.
Oh.
So, what do we think his name is?
He looks like a Gary to me.
Gary,
bit.
totally a Gary.
Yeah, something similar like Gary Shaw, like just like
Yeah,
Gary Shaw.
That's a super white name. That's great.
So yeah, he's definitely someone who lives for his work. He does not want to go far from the Macy's, but at the same time, he doesn't want to do this sit down in the Macy's in the Macy's coffee shop because the principle of the matter, that's just wrong. He's not. He's not necessarily hiding the fact that he's looking for a job, but he's like, it sends the wrong impression if he's doing it inside the Macy's.
Right.
So he wants to do the, do a sit down at the Starbucks, basically further into the mall.
Yeah. And so we do that. Gary, it's good to see you.
Yeah. I was surprised that you usually don't do stuff, have stuff in the retail space, but I've been trying to get into Best Buy corporate or Target corporate for a couple of years, and you just I don't know. What do you got?
So this isn't exactly in the retail like you're thinking. It's not Best Buy or Target. But it's definitely a move up in position. We're looking at like the market manager for another major company, looking for Burger King is looking to reach out.
Kind of gives a look. Burger King. Really?
Look, I know that you want to move up, and I know that you have the skills and the ability to do a market manager's job. That could be for somebody like Target. That could be for somebody like Best Buy, but it could also be for somebody like Burger King.
I mean, it's a step up. It's it's closer to what I'm trying to get to, but I don't know. Like, yeah, those places, fast food kind of sticks to your brand a little too tightly, if you know what I mean.
It does stick a little bit. I will give you that. But we both know that once you start moving up into things like the marketing manager, these general managers, the details of what the actual job are, like what the minimum wage employees get, what their job is matters less and less to the people in the position you're trying to be.
Hey, look, you don't need to bullshit me. I spend maybe 10 hours a week on the floor. I know what you're talking about, and market manager for a fast food place. I'll probably never see a fryer except for an inspection. But I don't know. The big thing is exposure. Like a chain like that, so far away from their corporate headquarters. Am I actually going to talk to any execs? Or am I just going to be, stuck there with a BK crown stuck on my resume?
You'll get to talk with plenty of people. Burger King has more reach than Macy's does, and you know that. They see people all the time, way more customers, way more throughput, and that matters. Burger King is trying to do something different, and maybe you're not the right person for it because you're too afraid of the fast food label, but they're looking for somebody to be their point of contact for all of Minneapolis. And if you don't want to do that and you're not thirsty, you're not hungry for this, you're probably not the right guy for this.
Look, the right opportunity is the right opportunity. You gotta sell me on it. How is this going to translate into my career? Who am I going? Tell you what, this is the important thing. Who do I get to know from this?
From this, you will know. Like the person who's looking into this is Erica Fisher. She's what is she?
He takes out his phone.
Yeah, I'm like, she's the VP of operations.
Yeah, he's going through his phone.
Like,
this is who I'll be reporting to?
That's the goal. She takes care and cares about the people that she hires directly.
He puts down his phone, takes a sip from his coffee, thinks like seriously about it. It's like, look, give me some time to think about what the fuck's going on.
And I turn to look at what he's looking at.
He's looking at you.
Oh, he's looking at me. I look back at it. I'm like, what do you mean? This is...
What the fuck are you doing? This is not funny. This is not funny. Get away from me. He just like storms off and like freaks the fuck out. And like,
I turn around because I think he's looking at something behind me.
Yeah. Like when he encounters people, he like freaks out and like runs away from them.
Is anybody else reacting to me weird?
No, it's just he just freaked the fuck out.
I sigh and like my shoulders slump, and like I pick up like my like notepad that had some notes on, and like you can see me like visibly crossing his name off of the list. Well, and then I look down to the next the item down there. I'm like, guess there's a couple more to look at.
When you check your phone, there's an email from Erica asking for the short list. It's before the due date, but she's still asking for the short list.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm still going through it. Like I respond to the email. I'm like, sure thing. I'll have it to you soon. I'm still trying to narrow down so you don't have to look as many resume or at as many people.
The response is pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure, remember, someone who can keep their shit together.
Right. And I don't think I respond to that. I think I just let that stand. I just like look at the email on my phone, and I look back and like I just put a second line through Gary Shaw's name. And I'm like, well,
you can make a notice roll right now if you'd like.
Sure, let's do that. Reroll selected. I got a 79, but what is my notice? Less than that.
No, that was not a fail. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do I need a marker or do anything because I failed that?
No, that is only the case for identities.
Cool.
Basic abilities change with the number of hardened marks you have.
Neat. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's go to the jalopy, that has been pretty upgraded for my... Oh, no, actually, we haven't done Laura recently. So let's do Laura and then the jalopy.
Yes, hello.
Hi. So, Laura, what have you been up to since the meeting?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think I've been trying to... I think from that hit where, Miguel wasn't really seeking my advice and he was mostly giving me advice, I went back to my source, so to speak, which is my office. And I'm taking care of things there, and people come to me with their problems and I give them advice and they go implement the solutions, because she needs that. She's waiting to hear back from Ian about the card. The interview's not scheduled until 3 or 4 days from now, probably, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And as we just heard, Fisher doesn't even have the short list just yet, even though I'm sure I'll be on it. And Isco hasn't told us yet about the weird tattoo or anything like that. So,
yeah. Quick question for Miguel. Did you give any names to Fisher yet or no?
No, I'm not going to give her any names. I'm going to
Okay.
tell her, like, when the short list is there, she'll get the short list.
Okay, just wanted to see.
Yeah, so I talked to Jenkins, and he's like, is this report okay? And I'm like, yeah, I finally got to it. Sorry about that. I had to leave unexpectedly, Tuesday.
Mhm.
Just taking care of business. There's an HR complaint that just got escalated,
Mhm.
and so I had to deal with that. Those kinds of things.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, you're going through pretty mundane stuff. When you get back to your desk, at some point you open it up to look for a pen. It is completely filled with tarot cards.
Okay. I just take one out at random and look at it.
3 of Wands.
Okay, and another?
5 of Pentacles.
On a whim, I deal out 5 in a line and see if there's any kind of pattern to it.
Shit, do I have to get out my tarot deck for this? I do own a tarot deck. Give me 2 minutes.
Isn't like tarot.com, you can't just
It'll be faster for me to flip through the deck. So 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
Meanwhile, I'm making up names and trying to find pictures.
Nice.
When does Roll for Your Party get a tarot deck?
I mean, we could add one if somebody bothered to upload some custom pictures for it.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. If you just search the name Sandra Hughes in images, there's actually some pretty good ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I just made up a name. Yeah, these could totally work. I feel bad about using somebody actually named Sandra Hughes, maybe?
I mean, they're never going to know.
That's true.
And it looks like Chris Wang is some kind of actor or something. Not one that I'd ever heard of, but
Sorry, my tarot deck is not where I thought it was. So,
that's all right.
God, so this was not something planned. Just being able to instantly come up with a tarot spread. So you can deal out a tarot spread online, I suppose.
But there's no it's not like something emperor or something. They're just they seem to be totally random.
David, as the GM, is not prepared to come up with something like that.
Okay.
So since I'm not prepared to do it, I can't make it happen.
Right. Sure. All right. I think it's time to call Ian and be like, "Yo, I just got probably 5 decks worth or more. 10 decks worth, we'll say."
Tarot deck is about that thick if you're doing the full-sized cards.
Yeah, and if we're filling a whole drawer, that's a lot.
Yes. Now,
A
granted,
couple hundred
cards as opposed to stacked in boxes. So
right, so that would take up more space than if they were stacked up. But even so, yeah, do you have any updates? So I've called Ian, and do you pick up?
Yeah, I think I'm probably exhausted, but to the point where you can tell, I'm like,
Look,
Yeah. What? What's up?
Have you been awake this whole time? Like, or like, have you not gone home? Did you not figure out the whatever it was that was going on? Like, she's instantly derailed by this. She almost forgets to ask what she's asking.
How much time has passed? Have I been able to actually get set up, and is it up and running yet, or I'm still working on it, or?
Let's say you just got everything set up in your car. You haven't tested it, but you think it's all where it needs to be.
Okay. Have I scanned the card?
No.
That's where I was about to.
Yeah. Well, I think either way, she's like, you know what? You need to take care of yourself first. I'm going to call Isco instead and see if he heard anything.
Okay. I mean, I got to get this started, but yeah.
Yeah, just let me know if there's any updates. You know, that kind of thing. I like describe it, but I haven't. I guess we probably haven't heard from Isco in a while because he was like gonna ask around, and now I've got more of this stuff. So if so, I give the restaurant a call.
Okay, and we go through the thing where the manager picks up,
right?
And you ask to speak to me, and the manager comes and says it's for you, and I say, I'm in the middle of prepping shrimp, and he says,
hey, dipshit. If your friends are bugging us on the phone, then you're going and answering the damn phone and telling them to stop calling here.
And I hand the shrimp knife off to the Dominican, prep cook, and I run into the bathroom, fast wash my hands.
Because this time it's a nice dessert wine waiting for you.
Yeah, but everything's ritual with me, and I pick up the phone like ready for it to be the heavy breathing.
My desk is full of tarot cards. Have you heard anything?
What?
That's you know I would not interrupt you at work if it was not important.
No, this is it wasn't. How did that happen? That's like a weird thing.
I don't know.
So I showed that tarot card that you gave me to the artists at Ace and Eights, and none of them had seen it before. But do you know what they all said?
What?
They all said it looked like corporate crap. One of them even mentioned fast food. He was like, the riding weight tarot is a classic, but this is like this is like a fast food version of the tarot.
So when I look at the cards with that like information from Isco, and maybe I even like turn on FaceTime on my. Well, no, if I'm calling the restaurant, then that wouldn't work. But I just look at the cards. I'm like, do I see anything that look like other logos or anything like just sort of vaguely with this fresh perspective, like being reminded of it?
I'm just gonna say the ones in your desk are all pretty standard printings of the tarot.
Okay. I look and see if I can find an Emperor card. Just like to sort through.
Oh yeah, you can find like several emperors. Most of them look, pretty much like an old dude in the chair. A lot of them are obviously like that Rider Waite art, although different, editions of it, like slightly different colorations and things and sizing. Right. But it's obviously just taken from the same stencils. Some of them are less common arts, but most of them really, stay within the same trappings.
Yeah, none of they don't remind me that much of the Emperor card that I did find.
No, not of the one that was shuffled into your paperwork.
And they're not as detailed as the Hanged Man either.
These are all standard printing, so
Right.
there's something about that Hanged Man that is a lot more personal in the artwork than these are.
But like they all knew as soon as I showed it to them. Like they didn't have to think about it or anything. I looked at them and like they pulled back like I was holding a turd in my hand.
Granted, these are also tattoo artists, so.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go see if I can figure out where these came from. Let me know if you hear anything.
Okay. All right. I will. Hey, before you go.
Uh-huh.
There was one other thing that was kind of weird, but I don't know if it was like weird or just weird.
Well, why don't you ask me about it?
And this is like where I like turn away and like cut my hand over the phone. And so I was at the tattoo parlor. I was at Aces and Eights, and there was a guy getting a full back tattoo, and it looked exactly like a dinosaur. I mean, like, it even had a top hat on, just like it did when I saw it.
Okay.
It kind of freaked me out.
Understandably. I think you maybe need to step away from Aces and Eights for a while.
What?
I think
No. That like if there's something weird going on there, don't we need to know what it is?
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find out everything you can about the person who was doing that. And maybe then we'll get a lead on what's going on with this.
The one who got the tattoo or the one who...
The one who was doing the tattoo. Well, both, honestly.
Well, it was... I mean, Gabe was the one giving him the tattoo. He's not that complicated.
Well, if you already know him, just double check what you know. And I think this is triggering my my 51% thing again about giving advice. It's like follow through with this, then everything is on.
I think you can only do that once a day for the guide.
Once a day per person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am all about procedure. So, however specific marching order, like kind of out of character for a sec, I think one of the things that you might know is, however specific the marching orders you give me, I will make every effort to follow them like to the letter.
Oh, I love that. Laura's all about that.
Okay.
So I rolled a 19 on my identity.
So what do I do?
Just watch out for that person and be discreet and figure out who they are. So this discretion you showed in the wine cellar the other day, keep that at all times. Figure out who they are. Tell Ian, and we'll see if we can figure out who this person is.
All right. Well. And
so, out of character, also, if you make some kind of investigate roll, you get to flip flop it.
Oh, fantastic! Okay, cool.
I thought for this it says you have to give vague cryptic advice.
For the 51%.
Let's see. Can offer solid advice to anyone on any subject once a day. He has to specifically tell them what to do,
which I've just done.
Check.
Oh, I see. Moreover, the guide has a special connection to anyone once per day. Okay, so it's specifically if you're giving it to a mentor or group that it has you as a mentor or guru. If you gave cryptic advice, it will give them a hunch. It would give them a hunch.
Right.
So that's a different thing. That's a different part of it.
And Miguel is my protege. But Miguel doesn't listen to me, so
I have
Yeah,
I'm
but
good to go.
he
Hey.
does not have you as guru or mentor. So
I listen to you.
the second part doesn't work.
Right.
He hears you.
No,
although
he does have you as guru. So if you gave him cryptic advice, he would get a hunch.
Well, I think in this case we have a very specific goal, so I'm going to stick with what I did.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
And I say, okay. As soon as I get out, I'll head right over there. And since I'm there almost every day, they won't suspect me.
Oh, Isco.
Click.
It's funny that you called Gabe a simple guy.
I didn't call him simple. I said he's not that complicated.
Yeah. So Laura, once that's over, it's like because it'll be a while before Isco will be able to go back to the parlor because it's the middle of the day. I just want to see if I could find like a store that could have sold like the nearest. I mean, I can't imagine there are like a lot of shops in any given city of middling size that would sell this kind of stuff, like traditional, Rider Waite style thing. So I just want to see if I can figure out where did these come from on a purely practical level. Since Laura's thinking is, since they're not super weird, it could be that somebody just bought these somehow and is putting them here to mess with me for whatever reason. But I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Minneapolis is a big city. There's also the internet.
I think I'm going to check physical stores first. Because I could just ask around and see what there is to see, and maybe the kind of person who will do this would be around there.
Are you skipping off on work in order to do this?
I think I cancel a staff meeting, so people are pretty happy about that and don't mind that I just leave a little bit early today.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Sure.
Let's go back to Ian. So you just got this call right before you were about to, turn on all of your systems, see if they're all running correctly. From what are we calling your car now?
What do we call it?
Is it like the Scrymobile?
Okay, let me think. So my ability is predictive mono.
We can get to that later.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. If someone has a nickname for the
It needs a good name. Yeah.
for the car now, it's totally going onto the NPC sheet as a character. In any case, so weird stuff's going on.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he's like, switching things on, and then like you see him just like he's taking like 5-second naps while he waits for things to like power on, and yeah, he's probably pretty exhausted at this point. But yeah, as soon as it's running, he'll try to like get that card scanned and add it in, and what is it? Panoptomobile. Yeah. Is it working? Is it
Yeah, things appear to be
Panoptomobile
working.
is my favorite.
As soon as you get, are you driving around as you're trying to collect the data?
I think he's too exhausted to be excited about it, but he's part of his mind he's considering the idea that being mobile is the reasoning was for like security. He can't be tracked if it's moving around, but this also gives him the opportunity to actually take it to specific points and take readings and whatnot. in significant areas. So like he's kind of excited about that, except he can't be excited about anything because he's just completely drained.
So yeah, I think you have it running for about an hour until your phone starts dinging again.
So
The first one says 21 signs that your idea was kind of clever. On the next one is 15 survey 15 sign 15 questions to determine if you're in a internet turf war. And then the next one is, wouldn't it be easier to get along? Answer these 12 questions to find out.
I'll answer those questions.
The very first one is, what is your name?
Hmm. God. Yeah, I don't know if I want to answer these questions, but oh man, he's so tired. He might be just worn down enough at this point.
I'm so glad I'm using this thing. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to.
All right, he'll just answer. He's just going to put his first name.
How long did it take you to decide not to lie?
It was not quick. Yeah, because
yeah, it's asking you how long did it take you.
Oh, how long did it take me? Yeah, I look at my watch. I'll answer that correctly. It was probably however long it just actually took me to answer. But he probably fully fell asleep for half a second before answering.
Who are your friends?
He's not gonna put their names. I think he wants to answer give a truthful answer that aren't their names. Who are my friends? Like, what's a
I wonder if you've ever thought of the name of mine and Miguel's archetypes. Like, I don't know if this is something that's crossed your mind. Like, I don't know if those.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking to give that either, though. He wants to. Yeah, I think he just says something. Puts in something like the people who I can trust.
How far away are you from the curb?
He probably takes a pretty accurate measurement of how far away from the curb he is.
Are you are you a close parker or are you a far parker?
Close.
You're really close to the curb. Let's see. How many days has it been since the last time you went to see a movie? Just come up with a number.
Yeah, 67.
The questions go on like this, and the 12th question is, why are you doing this? And when you don't answer, if you take a second to answer, the screen goes blank and then comes back on why. And it erases why.
To do my part to make the world what it should be.
Maybe I can help. Signed, Naman. Spelled with a GN. I swear, if anyone's read ahead in the books, do not say what the fuck this is.
I'm trying to remember what the original answer these 12 questions to.
Why can't we just get along?
Yeah,
these,
wouldn't it be easier? Yeah, wouldn't it be easier
to just get along?
So does that mean the answer is yes? It would be easier to get along. Is it? Am I able to? Is there a field for me to type in still? Or
nope.
It just gave me that info. Okay.
Your phone stopped dinging for now.
I could drive home and go to sleep.
Which we are going to get to do soon because we're getting pretty late. Let's see. Yeah, let's circle back to Miguel and see what he's up to, and then that might get us close to the end of the night.
So at the end of the night?
Well, I meant players end of the night.
Yeah. What would I be doing? Like, I think mostly I'm just going through the short list of everything that's going on. What else would be interesting instead of doing another thing like that?
Yeah, I was going to save the other ones for future sessions.
You know what I'm probably doing is, as kind of like a lead-in, is going on the assumption, like if we do get Laura instilled as the marketing manager, like maybe like mapping out like where all of the Burger Kings are and like doing something like that to like see what their coverage is, like where there might be like there's places where there are no Burger Kings, like that type of like research into that type of thing.
What candidates need to scope out?
Yeah.
Well, you're stuck working, and Maria comes home. Wait a minute, does she live with you, or does she?
I think she doesn't. I think I'm older and I have my own place, but I think like because like maybe we have like just the house we grew up in is
You're not her mom.
Is probably a little bit loud, and I'm not her mom. So like when she needs some place to like go study and do something else, she has a key to my place where she can like come and like not be with our parents.
Yeah.
And,
like, so it's not quite midnight.
Wi-Fi and Netflix and
yeah. So it's not quite midnight when she just kind of like opens up the door to your place, and you're of course stuck in your computer doing work.
Right.
And she doesn't really say anything, but she smells like absolute garbage.
Yeah. And I kind of like look at her and like probably look back at my work, and then like I just like because of the stuff I'm doing, I think like I hit lock screen on it and like get up and walk away, like walk towards her. And I'm like, Maria, it's like it's midnight. What have you been up to?
I mean, it's just, out with the girls. Let's see. She does not, she's dressed in like her normal sweatpants and everything.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the hell she's actually been up to.
Look, shouldn't you be back at home? Like, shouldn't you be going to sleep? Don't you have class tomorrow?
It's fine. I don't have anything till the afternoon. I needed to borrow your shower.
To borrow my shower? What did you get up to?
Look, Can I please use your shower?
You can use my shower.
Thank you. Which, by the way, since you are willing to let her go and use your shower without asking any more questions, you can increase your relationship with Maria by 5%.
Cool. Awesome. I will totally write that down.
Which, did you have her as a relationship?
No.
Let's say you had it at 5% if you have an appropriate slot for that, and then you raise it up to by 5%.
Okay, so I should pick one of the ones that I don't have picked. Like,
yeah, responsibility.
Probably responsibility.
Yeah.
So I'll bump that up to 10. Well,
so what I mean is you didn't ask her any questions.
No,
but her bag's right there.
Yeah, so I think maybe like when she goes in there, I'll move her back. Like, is it just like on the middle, like on the floor or something?
Yeah, she just kind of like dropped it on your couch.
I think I'm probably going to leave it on my couch. And then I think I'm going to go to like the kitchen and like just start making like something very simple. Mm-hmm. So like there's like just a little bit of like some food when she comes back out.
Mm-hmm. But you are not invading her privacy?
No, I'm not going to invade her privacy.
Aww. Makes me so sad.
Mm-mm. I like my little sister. But I'm not going to invade her privacy yet. Maybe it'll happen later.
Okay. So Isco, we're going to leave with a cliffhanger. When you get home, your room has totally been rifled through. Someone's been in your stuff. And that's the session.
Oh, that's no good. All right. Okay.
Okay. So end of the session. It looks like only one person has had a failed roll.
For an identity. I failed something
for an
else.
Identity. Oh, yes, for an identity.
Yep, that's me.
So I'm trying to remember if it's in book 1 or book 2 that goes over.
What I read, I looked it up, and what it says is at the end of the session, I roll a 10-sider, cut it in half, and that's what I add to the value.
Yes, I'm changing that though, because this is a short shot. Was that was in book 1 then?
Yes, yeah. It was in the one that you shared with us.
Okay. Do you remember? It's probably with identities then. Like at the end of the identity section is my guess.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see if I can. I think I've got it right here.
Here we go. Improving identities.
Yeah.
The first time every session, you make a roll. Then at the end of the session, erase. Okay. So here's what we're going to do: is instead of rolling 1 dice, I want you to roll 2 dice and cut each one in half.
So I'm rolling 2d10. I got a 4 and an 8, which is a total of 6.
So your identity goes up 6. I just wanted to
perfect
accelerate the improvement so that
it
actually
because
feels
we're not playing a long
noticeable.
campaign.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then let's take a look at the objective and see how we are doing, how much that has gone up.
Also, when you get the chance, I have a question about how avatar identity improvement works. 'Cause
Yes.
It seems weird and different.
It's harder to understand. So I probably will have to do a little bit of reading on that.
Yeah, if we need to do it at the beginning of next time, because it said something about like if you succeed, but I'm like not entirely sure. That's on page 95, but we could talk about that next time.
Yeah. So let's see. So let's see if you've done anything. Anything considered intense on a local path, which we'll get into those in a little bit. Let's see. Spreading damaging unprovable rumors about someone, not really. These are example of things that would help this go up. Guys didn't really spend like $10,000 plaguing a church with unnatural phenomena. Guys certainly didn't do anything intense.
So with while you're looking that over, if someone came up during the session that I feel like it makes sense to put in as one of my relationships, should I just put that in?
Yep.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, if someone fits into one of your relationships, put them in at 5%.
Okay. I feel like Andrea totally fits in as mentor. Put her in there at 5%.
Absolutely.
The only thing I can think of that really moved us at all towards our objective was my and Miguel's cooperation. Like we ended up reacting to a lot of things.
Yeah, it wasn't specific to it. However, I'd say actually what Ian was doing.
Yeah, I was going to say Ian actually like.
No, yeah, that's true.
Agreed to basically agreed to I don't know if it was like to kind of like took a step towards making an ally.
I think actually what he was doing
at
with
least a negotiation
and changing that up. You've effectively done something that's equivalent of bugging the home or hijacking a phone. I mean, that's not exactly what you did, but I'd say it's the equivalent of that. So let's count that as pushing a weighty path, because that's what you guys are doing is a weighty goal.
Right.
Let's see. There are two types of petty and intense. A petty milestone is one with low risk. So that's what you've done. There's a roll that we make to see how far you've progressed it. Here we go. Turning the gears. If you do something that the GM thinks is petty, you roll 1d10 and add the result of your objective's rating. Add the result to the objective's rating plus 5%. So I'm going to steal one of those d10s and re-roll it. Actually, that's right, because this is a shorter session. I'm doubling all of those. So I'm rolling 2 and adding 10%. So your objective is towards doing this is going up by 10%.
What's our total?
10%.
Okay, so we didn't start with anything. We're starting from 0.
No. I mean, I thought about doing it, but if we fictionally had started with later and people said, "Oh no, we've totally already done that," then I might change it. But that's also why I'm accelerating the rolls for this is to make it so that we can potentially get to the point where this looks reasonable. I believe that the way this works is if you guys get close, you get. Well, I mean, if you hit 100%, it just happens, either on screen or off screen. If you guys are getting close, you can push for it, and then we roll what your score is at to see if you can push for it to succeed or not. Really, what I think we were doing here was laying down a lot of groundwork. I wanted to throw out definitely like interesting things for you guys to interact with, because that's really what Unknown Armies is about, is strange fucking shit to deal with.
Oh yeah, I really thought that it really worked for me.
Yeah, it's so like I love this game, but one of the things about it that's kind of I just ran a Feng Shui campaign, and it has exactly the same thing going on, where like it's a 90s game that they've revived for modern day. And so it's got like, it's like 70% story game stuff with a lot of like cool fiction and levers for us to pull on and things like that. But then suddenly you'll be like, you know, bam, you'll hit that wall of like, and not even hitting the wall, but it's like the mechanics intrude and like inform what you're doing in a way that can be a little jarring if you're used to just kind of like rolling along with BBTA or Fate or something like that. But but you know, like it's one of the things I love about it is that like every now and then it gets fiddly and we kind of navigate that, and but it makes it granular in a way that can be kind of cool, like with the meters and everything.
Yeah, one thing that I've always liked about Unknown Armies is for that like 90s style big game, it always did a better job of making things like go smoother than like its counterparts. Like, oh my god, World of Darkness is like, and
well, I don't want to. I very explicitly don't want to get into dissing any other games or anything like that. Right. But it's so funny because it's the like you can see how like at the time the story game narrative part of it was super innovative. But now, like 20 years later, we're like, because it was one of the things that first introduced that stuff. It's you know, the part of it that was innovative feels like, oh yeah, this is what we do all the time in story gaming.
Yeah, I do think that they did a good job of like, yes, it's not perfect, but compared to other examples of trying to, you know, bring story gaming elements into a big system like this, I think they did a much better job than I've seen elsewhere.
Oh, I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's, I mean, it's, you know, but it's a specific thing.
Yeah.
Which I find fun. And it's definitely not a thing where, it's not one of those things where you can just like skim the book and then you're rolling, you know, like as a game master. So no. I appreciate the amount of work that you've put into it to, you know, to get all this, put all these tools together to run it for us. So.
Yeah, I keep trying to just skim the book, and it doesn't always work well.
No, but
all right, okay, 2 a.m. on the West Coast, folks. So if we're done, I'm gonna hit the sack.
Yeah, if you want to go. Otherwise, you know, we'll just do a little bit of debriefing if the other people want to share anything. But you certainly don't need to stick around for that.
Okay, cool. Like if the gaming part is over, fun as always. And again, thank you very much for your patience at the beginning and letting me kind of roll in a little late like that. Next week shouldn't be a problem, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, shit. Actually, before you go, there is one thing we needed to discuss. So,
or maybe not.
Jim and Noel, I believe, both said that the last session you guys would not be able to make.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to reschedule for a week after that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the next Friday.
This is me saying absolutely before actually looking at my calendar. Hang on a sec.
I need to.
Yeah. I'm all like, yeah.
So it's scheduled for the February the 23rd.
Yeah, which is
so.
It would be the 30th.
No,
it would February.
Be the 2nd.
I've only been I've only been using the Julian calendar for 49 years, so forgive me. What do we got here?
Now, this is stupid for me because Sunday I'm running the first session of Night Witches, but I'd rather give this game the finale that it deserves and just have a stressful weekend.
So cool.
Well, you'll have a whole weekend off for planning.
Because
because I work Saturday.
Two weeks, so you better you better bring it, brother. Yeah, it's unfortunate the 23rd there is a Dreamation here on the East Coast. So we'll definitely be.
Would you be able to do the 2nd then? Because it's currently scheduled for the 23rd.
Yeah, my big my concert where I go get to meet Weird Al Yankovic is the night before. So I will I'll be like I'll have a rictus grin of nerd happiness on my face on the 2nd. So
that would be fine for me.
Yeah. Yoshi, Brian, does that work for both of you guys? Good for Yoshi, Brian?
Yeah, I think it should.
Okay, so I will go ahead and reschedule both the Fire App thing. If you guys can reschedule or re-sign up for it, just so we have that record of it, I'd appreciate that. Let's see, edit event. Doesn't have to be tonight, but
We might as well do it while we're thinking about it, so we don't.
Yeah, while we're.
I don't want someone else to come in and sign up, and then be like, "Wait a second, what do you mean those spots are actually already taken?"
Yep, that's why we should do it right now. Okay, so what's the easiest way to find this in Firebase here?
It's up if you just go to March 2nd. You just click. Here, I can.
Oh, if I go on the calendar?
Yoshi just posted the link, I think.
Oh, in the Google.
In the chat.
Okay, in the chat. I'm going like in 8 different places here.
Okay.
What the? I'm already locked out. No, I'm just like that's such a Gauntlet thing. I'm realizing.
Well, I haven't mentioned that I had those spots open specifically until. I'm sure if I did that, somebody would have signed up, and I'm like, "Oh, character creation for just one session. Oh, why am I doing this?"
That's awesome.
So,
I'm in there now, so we should be good.
Yeah, and then you guys can just change the RSVP and Google Plus whenever, so that you get the reminders.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it's in my.
That is so freaking cool of you. Thank you so much. Totally awesome.
No problem. Like I said, if it was one person, I'd be like, hey, I'd be like up in the air about it, and I'd probably get input. In this case, with half the group gone, it's like, well, that just, the dynamic's not there anymore. So, but yeah, that sounds good. I should just ask, is everyone okay with me posting this video since we recorded the whole damn thing this time?
Yeah.
Posting it for the Gauntlet?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Totally.
I want to.
I don't know that we need the last 5 minutes of like rescheduling and stuff, but yeah, sure.
I usually don't bother editing. Okay, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If someone watches towards the end and they don't want to listen to it, they can just turn the damn thing off.
Okay.
Hello, that one person.
Are you still here? Go home. Go home.
In any case, I want to thank everyone for playing tonight. It was a ton of fun. I know it's a little bit odd. I have to think of like, okay, running this game and getting people to care about the same things is a little bit different than most of the games I run. But I think it's great.
It can be a challenge. It can be a challenge because it's a little bit of a slow burn because you got to kind of ramp up the weirdness. Because if you if you crank it up to 11 right away, then there's nowhere for it to go.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so that's cool. And like everyone seems super patient with like waiting around for other people to have spotlight time and stuff. So it's a good crew.
Yeah,
all right,
and
looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I also think
I'm gonna fall. Like I'm just gonna crash right into my computer.
Yeah,
so.
Sure. Just go ahead and drop out.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that's a little bit challenging with this is you can't just have one or two weird things going on. Everyone needs to have a couple of weird things and have like a variety, because otherwise if it's just like, hey, here's the weird thing, then hey, here's the big bad that we have to deal with, and that's not on Armies. So
yeah,
I
really appreciated how we've been building off of. I think you're absolutely right. Doing that whole first campaign and creation session, I think is really already starting to pay off.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know what to throw at you guys without it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I spent basically Sunday thinking of, okay, what's the strange shit everyone's is going to have to deal with. That's how I came up with throwing Erica Fisher at you guys, which if you have read Unknown Army 2nd edition, you may recognize the name.
Nope.
Oh, good. Then it will be a surprise.
Yeah, I have read through most of the 3rd edition materials, but that was like a half a year ago. So I'm like recognizing names and themes, but very, very few specifics. And I'm very excited about some of the things that you're bringing in. So
I'm only using 2 set things from the book, and then I'm using a couple of characters who have things from the book but aren't like, I'm not sure if you've identified what they are. If you've read the book, if you've read the books, and then a lot of the shit is just like, this is weird and you're going to have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. Very cool.
Well, cool. Thank you. I should probably log off and start winding down so I can actually get to sleep.
Yeah.
Thanks for running. It's been super fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure gaming with y'all.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you again, and I will see you guys next week.
See you then. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.